Club. And how are you, Tony Neal?
Fantastic thing. You know, Saturday's football season, fantastic morning. So excited to get here, mate. Doesn't matter what level, just coming to the footy. It's a fantastic environment. Yeah, really enjoying it.
How good is this weather, eh?
Yeah, well, we're both sitting here in shorts and T-shirts and slides and, yeah, bit of zinc cream and a little bit of a breeze just blowing across the ground, a zephyr, a little bit to the right as we speak. Ground conditions look fantastic. I was out walking around before. Yeah, the grass is a little bit lush actually. There's a couple of sandy spots, but the grass is quite lush, freshly cut. And
ball will set up nicely on that grass.
It almost feels like September finals time, but we can't get ahead of ourselves.
We do, and we'd like to give a big thank you to our sponsors for today, because without them, it just doesn't go ahead. And our gold sponsors and our scoreboard sponsors, Harley Heaven and the Firm. So really thank you to them, and everyone get out there and get a new Harley or head to the Firm and Crazy Horse. Our silver sponsors at the club rooms end of the day. Today is the Pernix end. That's Smarter with Data with Pernix. And the southern end is the HydroSmart Pure Water end of the ground. That's at the Glenunga High School end. Our bronze sponsors are ChemCert, Mackay Business Services, our Murder Station in the far north, Rewards International, Southern Trophies, Big Screen Video, Good Evans Consulting, MGA Insurance Brokers, and of course Sports Centre, Port Road Sports, mate.
Yes, thanks for that, Luke. It'll be interesting to see what happens today. Being the warmer weather, I've spoken with a couple of coaches and players during the week about this, and hydration comes to the fore. And I'm not talking about the energy drinks and sports drinks prior to the game, but just your actual hydration rates. And 2% of dehydration really can affect the players' thinking patterns, and fatigue sets in, and we'll start to see skills drop away. So it'll be interesting to see how these players have prepared for the day. The warm-ups, Salisbury were doing the lane work, and there's some big units out there, mate, and pretty glad I'm not going around.
Just yes. Bodies.
And looking at Glenunga, they're quite tall, so the day might be made for them.
A little bit
today.
Leaner.
Yeah, a little bit of height around them, and they were very structured in their warm-ups. They had bibs on, and very set in the way that they warmed up. So two different approaches to the game, and looking forward to seeing how Glenunga holds up in Div 4. They're a very forward-thinking club. They've got a strong junior foundation going on, and some good people around the club, and strong coaching structures. And
everything about Glenunga says Division 1 in about 6 or 7 years, doesn't it?
Well, they're certainly headed forwards and upwards, so but you've got to get the runs on the board. And look, it'll be interesting to see Salisbury. I haven't seen a lot of them over the years, but I'm suspecting that they'll be straight ahead at the ball, head over the ball, and just hard workers. So really looking forward to this game, and height versus speed, what's going to happen there, and the forward line structures, back line structures, the long skinny boundaries out here, once again straight lines like last week.
Yeah, Salisbury look like that, that old school, old style player, don't they? They've got the strong bodies, and probably Glenunga a little bit leaner in their build, and probably look like more of a running unit.
Yes, they'll be athletic, and be interesting to see their patterns off the back line where they do just play on automatically. So we're just getting ready now. I can see the...
And great man out there, Ian Gore. Gorey will love him. He's umpiring out there. He's grabbed that ball, and it'll all be about Gorey today, mate. It'll all be about Gorey. He's umpiring. He holds the ball aloft, and we're just about to get this game underway.
Lachlan Middleton in the middle for Glenunga as well. Up she goes.
Big Tommy Beard in the ruck for Glenunga.
Heads over the ball. So that first ball up, and we're going to get a second one, and that's actually holding the ball. So Salisbury now are looking around as to who wants it. Okay, so he gives a handball out, Matthew. Looking around as to who wants it. Okay. So he gives a handball out, Matthew Shields, and that'll be Justin McPherson driving it down into the pocket. And the big fella there, Matthew Fleming.
Yeah, he's a big man, isn't he?
So it's right out once again by the children's playground there on the far side.
We saw the other week here, Colby Blythe and Corey May got hold of the Glenunga defence. Didn't have a lot of height, so they've got Big Fleming down there today, and number 21, Aaron Manning's looking after him. And although he's a little bit bigger, he's still undersized there in that back half.
Yeah, and just seeing Andy Reid there, number 22, getting away with a fair bit of space. So the ball's on the far side as it comes in around half forward line for Glenunga now. Quick kick forward. One-on-one, number 18 out there is Xavier Larkham. Comes back
great
inside.
Man Ryan Paget, he nearly got him too for Salisbury.
Comes back inside. Is that a trip? That's play on. Umpires let it go. Salisbury have got this away. Now they've spread wide here out to the opposite wing. One-on-one.
Good cut-off
and that's
though.
Josh Henke. I was just having a look at him on the halfback flank when you were talking about that height there. So number 1 running forward, Brent Ellis out, lining up at the goals, and he's kicked that just across, touch through for one behind. Okay, let's have a look now at how Salisbury's set up. They're coming up the ground a little bit, Glenunga, so we've probably got 3/4 of the ground covered.
Glenunga in a normal zone defence here, mate. Just a 3-4-5.
Yeah, Salisbury have spread really wide and deep down here in the pockets. And normally a team, as we can see, now he's come straight down the centre, and that's a nice kick there. Justin McPherson turns and he's off. Straight into the middle of the ground, what we suspected with him, straight ahead. Number 9 after it there.
Justin McPherson again,
former captain. Number 9. There it is, one hand. Oh, that's almost an Irish one there from Matthew Goods.
Didn't have it.
Ducks the chutney, the Glenunga player, and I reckon we'll get a ball up here.
Should have been a free kick there, Gory.
As we suspect, Salisbury are pretty much hard at it at the moment. The ball's come up, the wings have come in, so it's going to be congested, this little bit of play. Quick handball out, backwards on the 45. Another one backwards, it's on the far wing to a left footer there. And what's happened here, he's been given that downfield. So
off the ball.
Yep, half forward line now for Glenunga. Wheels inside. Nice kick, and that's a strong grab. And that is Thomas Edwards, I reckon.
No,
is it?
Big Monkey and Ryan Paget's been given a free kick out of that. I didn't see that, honestly. I thought it was a clean mark. Still.
So here they come wide. Patrick Kennyhan, and that's a very deft touch to Matthew Timperton. We might just say Timp. And that's
his nickname.
About a 40 to 50 metre kick down the line. Yeah, protecting the space well there, the big fella. Brady Dalgish holds the ball in. So let's see how we set up here. How many players around the ball? There's a player on his own for Glenunga, 20 metres off the ball behind the play here. Could be the get out of jail guy. Simon Abel on his own still. No one really taps it there. And it's held in again. And we can.
And Beard. Now Atkinson's trying to get to the front, trying to shep it out to Big Beard. I think he thinks he's got him covered in a bit of height.
So tap forward by Salisbury, but it's taken by Glenunga. Nice control kick there down the line, and that's a good strong grab over the top, and he's immediately looking inside. Xavier Larkham, that was. He's really got a deft kick there. That is fantastic. And is that the big fella, Nicholas Wunky? Yeah.
Wunky, you'd be going back.
He's having a look. He's having a look. He's about 40 metres out, but he's having a look at his teammates, and he's found him. And I reckon you're right.
So far, at every stoppage, Glenunga have gone backwards and a chain of handballs and the get out.
Out and around, yep.
Yep, so they've gone back as a bit of a Norwood Central Districts type play where they're just going backwards and out to go forward.
And it's that 30 to 40 metre kick to precision rather than just the long bomb and hope to a 50-50. And I'll tell you what, the way he's walked off after kicking that, I reckon he knew that was through. Yep. So they've got their first. That came off the half-back flank from a chain of play. Down it went, and interesting, from about 40 metres out, straight in front, centre forward, and the guy shared the ball into the pocket, and they've scored from it. 6 points. Doesn't matter how you get them, they're on the board.
Who was it? Number 26, I think it was, the wingman?
It's only a light fella. I'm just trying to pick him up now. I think you're correct there.
Dylan Smith.
Okay, so the ruckman eyeing off each other at the moment. Up the big man fly, and that's a tap out to Thomas Beard there. Once again, second ball up. So a bit of congestion here. Beautiful day for it. Absolutely fantastic. Up she goes. Bit of pushing and shoving in there. The ball's come out. Salisbury've got it. He's tried to fend off two players there. He could be caught here. He's tried to fend off two there. His teammates pick him up. So that's Scrappy down the bottom of the pack. So using the body well. Beard come through again. Tapped it forward for Glenunga out the back. Number 13 there, Matthew Timberton. Out come Glenunga again, as we were discussing, and he's got some toe, this lad.
Yeah,
left-hand handball, but he's handballed it straight into the Salisbury players in the back line. Comes out wide. Timbo again. He's come back inside. The 1-2, and he's just gone bang. Kick to a big 50-50. The big strong fella there, he's put the one arm up. Well mopped up by Brant Ellis. And there's Jack Harford kicking that across to Andy Reid. Yeah, nice shoes. They look well drilled with all this. They're switching. They know where the players are going to be.
Yep.
It's really good football to see. And there's another kick into the forward line. He's popped
Big
that
wonky
down there. Yep, wonky there. So the ball's on the ground right next to the boundary line. Umpire's pulled one out and it's a Salisbury free. Let's just see whether they go for the switch or down the line. He's looking around now. Just having still a little bit of movement across the other side of the ground. He's gone probably 20 metres there and 50-50. He's dropped that.
Sam Mabel.
Glenunga have mopped up. Ball's come in on the ground and look at this player go. He's mopped that up
Ward.
And bang.
Kicked it out of bounds on the full. Far side.
So quite active. Is that...
It's out, it's out the full. That was
Yeah.
Guy Ward who kicked it out.
Guy Ward, was it? Number 3? Yes, yeah, he's been quite active in and around the ball.
So resultant free kick in the right full forward pocket here, going towards the I just made into the ground.
So she's static at the moment. We're probably 8 minutes or so in. A little bit of movement now. There's a big fella right in the middle here in front of us. Big number 25, and he's pointed. He's called for it. Let's see if he can get up. The two ruckmen are going to compete. Ball to ground, heading towards the umpire now. And here's this very fast one. Middleton again, couldn't quite pick it up. Put a tackle in, so great second effort. Unfortunately not rewarded. Salisbury's free. And the gentleman with the helmet on.
Matty Shields.
That's it. Out on the half-forward flank. They seem to have 2-1 on the contest here.
Ooh,
He's missed that. Salisbury have got it up. Gives it back to Wormald. Looks inside with a handball. Glenunga have put the pressure on the big fella. Through he comes. Have a look at that. I don't reckon I'd like to stand in front of that too often.
Gee, they got some big boys out there,
Yeah.
Salisbury, and you'd be wanting to get it in long and deep and high and trying to get them one-on-one, wouldn't you?
And that was Brad Dalgleish just coming through, and now he's trotting back towards the goal square.
Perfect day to be taking a catch
fantastic. We can see there the Glenunga ruckman, his second effort, he's got that up again. He's gone for the tap and got that back up to his team. The ball's out of bounds. Now, interesting, last week I spoke about this, whether anyone's setting up behind the two ruckmen for that ball out the back. And as we look on the ground, once again, all the players across one side of the ground. So there's no players on the other side of the ground behind the centre circle.
Yeah, no, they're all
as we look on the playground. So ruckmen have set up now. The Glenunga must have heard me there. He's set in behind. Ball goes out to the side. Attack here, 50-50.
Padgett.
On the ground again. Yeah, he doesn't mind it, does he?
Great player, Padge.
Knows his way around.
Been a stalwart of the Salisbury Footy Club for many years.
So they're all around the ball here. Glenunga have set up behind the ball, but Salisbury haven't. As we're looking to the right of this pack, there's no one down this end, but there's the congestion that we speak about. So there's going to be another ball up here. Pretty well sure of it. We'll just see what happens at the back of this pack. Glenunga setting up. Now there's a couple of players back here. Umpire comes in. No one's.
Work out now. Salisbury really got to open up their forward line.
Yeah.
And just leave those two big blokes up there.
And there's one big tall player for Glenunga back there on his own.
Yeah, just sitting back.
I'd say he's the goalkeeper. He's just sitting there watching, all on his own. Doesn't have to be accountable.
Oh no, he's.
There's a player in. He's covered in the goal square.
Coming back up to the contest.
Yep. So Salisbury quick kick out. Front spot was Glenunga. It's on the ground, right in the goal square now, and he pops that out to the back pocket. We're just coming up the half-back flank. A chain of handballs, 3 or 4 handballs. It's at the 50-metre line. We haven't seen a kick yet. He's come back inside. There's the first kick, and it's over the centre, but straight to the Salisbury player, Adam Atkinson. So he's gone back and had a look. Let's see. He's kicked. That's a nice kick in. It's about 20 metres out from front. The big men fly down to the ground now. Glenunga once again first to the ball. They're going to get another ball up here, or are they? The umpires let it go. Little soccer off the ground. Glenunga, 3 of them in a row now. Eyes up. 1-2 to number 12 there. That's Lincoln Bennett. and he's kicked that down towards the centre of the ground, and once again, he's put that down, the Salisbury player, the big forward there's picked it up. It's right on the wing here. The ruckman's looked inside. He's kicked that high in the air, and Salisbury come out. Good mark there to number 19, Hull, and across to Timberton again. He's had plenty of it, and that's a long raking kick, and a good grab there, number 8, and he's just played straight on, run into the goal square, and he hasn't made the distance. Glenunga have dropped it in the goal square.
Ryan Padgett just come from the field, and Jaden Tucker has just made his way out. It's his first game for Salisbury today, recruited from Salisbury North and Butte.
And that was a nice kick in, nice run and kick in from Jack Matthews. So it's right in the goal square for Salisbury here. Player is dragged, handballed through for a point. Let's see the first kick in here, what Glenunga are going to do. He's looking around, the umpires have waved, so there's a setup. Ruckman all on his own in the middle here, and Thomas Beard it is. So don't mind his skills, hand to foot. A lot of ruckman just handball, but he's having a look around. He's got a player free right in front of our commentary position here, and he's turned square onto the half-back flank. They've held it up. He's off now. Here they go again. They don't mind coming inside. I've seen 3 or 4 times now, Glenunga, right inside of the middle of the ground. Guy Ward it is.
High risk, high reward.
Yep, there it is, right into the goal square. I'll tell you what.
Coast to
there
coast.
It is. Yep.
Yeah, well done.
Fullback kick in. Thomas Beard, intelligent play out to the flank. And then a ball down. As I said, they don't mind coming inside their own centre area, centre corridor, and then bang through for a goal.
If you notice, though, every switch has been to the far side of the ground.
It has, yep.
Every switch has been to the far side.
And it's only a zephyr of wind over that side, so they can afford to do it. And as we can see, they're accurate kicking, really good foot skills, very impressive.
Obviously a game plan, because you just don't go to that side every time for no reason.
And with all due respect, especially for the ruckman to take the time to stop and switch and do that, because I can tell you as a coach, a lot of players, you'll ask them to turn and switch and they won't do it, so very intelligent there. And he's won the tap in the middle there. He's having a good game so far. So ball to ground. I'll tell you what, we're going to see another ball up here.
Only a young lad, Tom Beard. He's from West Adelaide. He's about 20 years of age, so big future in front.
So there he goes again. No, that was a different player, I reckon. So the ball's coming out, and Glenunga here, right on the wing here, 37. You can hear them calling. You've got the speed.
Josh
Henke, and high, wide, and handsome.
And out in the full.
Fairly tipping back to the back lawn, son. So the Salisbury players already are just walking off on their rotations.
Justin McPherson, the former captain of the club, has made way for the great Ryan Padgett.
I was going to say, that's a fair interchange. So they've set up well.
2 stalwarts.
Set up well. Up it comes. Beard again is being held. Has to be a free kick. Let's see what he does with this. He's not even looking to have a handball. Salisbury player runs past for the handball. There's no one on the mark. He can play on now. He's got a player free in the pocket if he wants. But he's gone straight in towards the goal square. Hasn't quite made it. Contest. Glenunga once again, that little wall. 3-on-1. All the Salisbury players came towards him, got the handball out the top. And there's a tackle from on the knees.
It's like Lucky Middleton in there, doesn't it?
Cohen Biddle, the big strong guy from on the knees, putting the tackle in. Glenunga 2 or 3 behind the ball. I can see 37 here waiting for it.
CJ Inglis in there.
Bit of a soft tap, that one, just straight down to his feet almost, but that can be a set play. He could have really thumped that, but let's just see what he does here. Trying to rustle him up again. So Salisbury hits it out. There's the player I was talking about. Henke was behind the ball and got the kick in on the left foot. Number 12 there, I'll tell you what, he's put that just across goal there. That's Lincoln Bennett. Quick snap out of the pack. So Glenunga, after that kick, jogging back to their positions. That's good to see. Get back to position and have the rest. Ruckman on his own, and they've gone short. You always give him that first one. Now it's down the wing, and here's the big fella. Ooh, juggled it over the line. The umpires call 3 juggles. It was. I reckon it's going to be a throw in. Matthew Fleming.
Gory's having words with the boundary umpire. Now what's it going to be?
So another rotation. Lachlan Middleton's come on, and Lincoln Bennett's off. And the big left footer, down he goes. He's kicked that high, wide and handsome. Beard sprinting back. Put down there by number 15 there, Bradley Dalgish. And Beard again, we seem to be calling him a fair bit. That's a lovely kick along, protecting the drop of the ball there.
Yeah, Beard's
Harry
having a
Prosser.
good game, and Atkinson is
That's a good take.
long way behind him.
So there's Glenunga right at the centre half forward position.
Middleton.
Lachlan Middleton, he immediately looks outside
Great
and
catch.
a driving kick.
Slips catch.
How good was that?
Harry Prosser, I think it is.
Yep, that was fantastic. Harry Prosser diving forward probably 4 to 5 metres, a slips catch, not knowing what was coming at him, and that was fairly courageous.
Big beard coming from the Oval now.
Yeah.
Just have a bit of a rest there. He's had a great 15 minutes.
He's worked really well. And coming on, Bo Skellington. And I don't think he's going to be the ruckman by the looks of it. So there's another sausage roll. Glenunga forging ahead 3-2-14.
Yeah, Harry Prosser.
Well, actually, that'll be 20.
3-2-20 on the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard to Salisbury 1 behind. Don't think Salisbury have made use of this slight breeze heading towards the Koenig's end of the ground, and also just too cluttered up in their forward line. You just got to leave those big boys up there and take the catch.
So we've got Wonky versus Atkinson in the middle, so it'll be interesting to see what happens with the main ruckman off.
See how Glenunga are playing. They've got one up in the square, just, you know,
Yeah,
he's
one
out,
on one down there.
He's outsizing him, but Salisbury aren't allowing to do that.
Glenunga have just dribbled the ball forward at centre half forward position at the moment, popped it out, and what are we going to see here? Probably holding the man. Yep.
No.
So we've got a one-on-one, correctly called, Luke. We'll see what happens here. One-on-one, big tall guy. He's given away about 6 inches to the Salisbury guy, and there it is.
Yeah, and that's
straight out in front.
That's what Salisbury should be doing at the other end.
Very well,
just open it up the forward line, let the big boys take a catch. Like Big Wonky here again. But yeah, I get frustrated, I must admit, when you see things like that at fairly obvious, I would have thought.
Yeah, they're very well structured. He was already moving as that player looked up, and I reckon they know exactly where they're going to kick. And for a right footer, he's missed that. But for a right footer, that's the right side to be kicking from, if that makes sense. He ran to the fat side. Yep. Okay, let's see if they can hold it in here, Glenunga, or whether Salisbury, will they go short? Fullback's looking, he's kicked to himself, so it's going to become a 50-50, or no, he's kicked it very short. Gets it back, so he's getting a couple of stats. He's kicked that very wide, and that's number 9 there is Daniel Knox, and he's come straight down the line, right in front of us on the wing, commentary position, ball to ground. Salisbury have gone forward now.
Beautiful bit of work there.
Jack Matthews again, and he's kicked that straight as a die, and
the back.
Brant Ellis. He's going to take the free kick in the back line and immediately straight across goal. So here they go. They've got the clearance.
Far side of the ground.
Exit, takes a bounce, streaming forward with a handball, looks inside. He could be caught here. Bends off Dusty Martin style, but the umpire's given that too high against.
That's ridiculous.
He has given that too high against.
There's nothing but a fend off.
And a few of the Glenunga players are remonstrating with the umpire.
I think Gory's made a horror there.
Well, we didn't mention the umpires last week, but this week we have.
There's I know Gory pretty well too.
Funny kind of kick in, yes, I understand that. So Glenunga first to the ball here. Someone backing up, could be in the back there. No, straight in.
And in fairness, the umpiring's been good today.
It has, yeah,
just that
for sure.
One decision was.
So Guy Ward's just snuck on here. He's on his own, just to our left of the commentary position. Salisbury player comes across now. If they could have got it out to him there, Glenunga. And just having a little bit of trouble seeing what. There we go. Glenunga coming out. Big fella goes back and he's taken it.
Big Atkinson.
Now, switches inside. Gets it across to another big fella. It's going to bounce in front of him now. He's going to have to bend his back here, this lad. Colin Biddle. And he's caught, shrugs the tackle, left-hand handball
Nickname
to another big one. And that's Keeneyhan, and just a high, long kick into the forward line. Glenunga should clear this going on pass form, although that could be in the back there. Another pack.
Yeah, dived on top, Salisbury player, and held it in there in the area, and going to reset and hopefully get a goal.
So Salisbury have kept one out here, another one, but then the rest of the players have moved in, and I'm a little bit anti that. If they can get a clearance out, Glenunga, there's space out the other side here, but they've actually gone down the wing on the far side. Who am I to say? The young fella bends down, good handball, good linking play on the left foot. Could it be marked here? And there's our interchange player come on. Bo Skellington, and that's a good one-handed outstretch. So let's see. He looks a neat kind of player. Let's see how he goes with the kick. Indecision. He's popped that up in the air. However, Glenunga first to the ball. Spills to ground now. Two Salisbury players No one
Dish
picks it
out.
up, and Glenunga have
Andy
got it
Reid.
again.
Andy Reid, they're not
Looks
going to catch
inside
him.
for the
They're not going
handball.
to catch Andy Reid. There's
Dummies
not a
one.
hope.
Look at that.
Goal.
Around he goes. And straight to the interchange bench.
From the
Fantastic effort.
From the time he had it, there was no way they were going to catch Andy Reid.
So I reckon he's run from probably the 50-metre line on the far side, down through, contested the ball, kicked the goal, and absolutely sprinted back to the interchange.
Fair athlete, played a fair bit of league football at North Adelaide, mate, so
And I reckon
can play.
He's done more sprinting there than what I'd do in a week. That was fantastic. What a great piece of play. Back to the bench.
Brilliant work from Andy Reid.
Quick rest, and I'm sure he'll be back on. They've certainly got a good spread, Glenunga.
They have
certainly got a good spread.
Just rolling around.
Plenty of players.
Big fish wonky in the ruck in there now.
And we've got confusion with the boundary umpire because a player, I was just watching that player on the wing. Glenunga only had 3 in. So the 4th player was allowed in, and the boundary umpire called that. So Salisbury have got a free kick. We'll move past that.
Atkinson.
And it's probably just going to be that long kick a little bit down towards the... that just hasn't worked for them. The big high bomb, hoping for it to happen, and Glenunga are loving this. They're mopping up on the left again, and there's the difference, just hitting the target. 20-30 metre kick on the left. Players streaming forward for it. The big fella inside here at centre half back, that's a dangerous position to call from. So they've come down the wing. 2 on 1, Salisbury up. Falls to the ground, tries to barge through. Didn't quite come off. And look at Glenunga first the ball again and running well. A run and bounce past the pack on the left foot there. And I reckon that might have been out already. Was that Prosser?
There's a free off the ball here, and it's going to go to Salisbury. Don't know what that was for, but it's a free off the footy.
Lincoln Bennett's about to come back on. Brian Lee's giving instructions from the sideline. It's good to see.
So Salisbury got the free off the footy on the far side centre wing.
A little bit of a breather for the players. There hasn't been much of it.
Warm day too.
Yep. Glenunga. Oh, and that's dragged to the ground.
Might have been a bit high, I thought, there, Tony.
Yeah, I was just looking at that, but the umpires have decided the ball up. The big ruckman's about to come on as well for Glenunga, Thomas Beard, as well as Lincoln Bennett, waiting and waiting. Ball on the ground now, and just in front of the goal square. He's taken high. Now let's see them spread here, Glenunga. They've got a player on this side of the ground, spread wide.
Grats.
They've got players congested, so it does come this side. Good call, Luke. Justin Bonney it is now. He's come straight down to a lead. The big fella's gone up. Henke. Drop that ball to ground, Salisbury. It's going to be a bomb, I reckon, if anything here. No, he's dropped the ball blatantly. Salisbury are just popping that ball around and hoping. There's a little bit of a throw that we just noticed there. Ball right in the centre forward position. Glenunga first the ball, and that's a strong tackle. Slung to the ground. And here's goes Salisbury.
Goal. No, he's missed. Oh, thought
Scott
that was
Pendlebury, was it? Number 10.
And the horse. Jose.
We might stick with that.
Horse Jose.
Jose Pietrantonio.
I think we just called him Horse.
Horse is a good one.
Well,
fair effort.
Nicknames thanks to Ryan Paget.
So we can see players already, as I spoke about that fatigue, players with hands on hips, just those things with body language. That little rest, hands on hips, looking around. Glenunga, as I said, there's that short kick in the back line. Teams will give you that. It's the next one. Indecision here, gets around. Nice play, and it's just a bit of a helicopter. Salisbury have spoiled that. It's bouncing out right in front of the scoreboard there. And the boundary umpire has collected that.
The Harley Heaven Firm scoreboard, and it says 4-3 to Glenunga 21 to Salisbury 2 points. So 19 points, about 22, 23 minutes into the first quarter.
So here comes Glenunga out with the ball, and the ball's high into that centre half forward position. A good contest here and good grab at the back, Salisbury. I was just looking at that last set up. They had Dalglish on his own, Salisbury in the goal square, couldn't get it to him. So that's Knox wheeling around at Glenunga. Yeah, this guy looks all right too, Guy Ward.
Yeah, good player.
Sharp, look at that, into the ruckman. We've called him a fair bit again. Beard's on again. He looks, and he hits the target. That's very intelligent play by that young fellow.
Guy Ward's just been added to the Crows top-up list too.
Ah, very good. So crisp, neat skills there, and just the vision to lift the eyes enough to hit this player, Sam Abel. And Abel's on a about 45-degree angle, 30 metres out. I reckon the wind's actually going to blow from his right to lefty, so we'll need to aim this at the right-hand goal post. Long way from hand to foot for the big fella. Let's have a look at how he goes. And he's hit it out the right-hand side, or has he put it through? He's put that through. That's a nice kick. Good linking play. Good teamwork there. And as I said, there's certainly no passengers in this team.
No, a bit deceptive, that kick from here. It looked like it probably missed near side.
Yeah, so as I said, let's see Beard in the middle now. What an asset he is to this team.
Yeah, first game, a bit quiet. Big Michael Sarah from Edwardstown got the better of him, but today he's probably best on ground at the moment.
Yeah, he's going well. So we've got Henke on the wing here. A little contest with Wormwood. So they're just trotting in. Ball out to Salisbury. Drops it like a hot potato. And there's the horse. Gives it. Oh, and the ruckman trying to be sharper there. That's really good work on his hands and knees. That's a good effort there. So we have quarter time.
There's the siren. So we'll go to the firm Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it says Glenunga 5-3-30. First quarter, we've got Guy Ward with 1, Sam Abel with 1, Harry Prosser with 1, Andy Reid with 1, and Dylan Smith with 1. So 5 singles there, and they've spread the workload, Tony Neal.
Yes, definitely. As we've mentioned a fair few times, that Thomas Beard, very good in that first quarter. Guy Ward, as we go down through there, Andy Reid. Yeah, very clever with his work. I said good spread through the players there. We saw Bo Skellington come off the bench there and get a few possessions. Henke, he's playing on the wing, half back, and fantastic there. Salisbury, Shane Slater, the coach, has really got ahead of him at the moment. He's brought the players, well, both teams now are over in the shade here. So it'll be interesting to see how they structure up in that second quarter. Do we say the right hand is the scoring end? Well, let's see what happens in this second quarter, whether Salisbury can get a few more on the board.
And we very shortly will cross to Jono, and Jono will just run a couple of ads very shortly, but in between we're just having a look. This Jono's doing a great job with the streaming. That's Kovac Photography. Does a fantastic job week in and week out with a live stream. So he's just going to do a few adverts of our major sponsors.
Yeah, just while we're waiting for that, we can see Glenunga's structure out of the back line. They tend to switch, and they'll switch either side, and they don't mind going down the line, but they'll also come back into the middle. Risk versus reward, but if you have the structure set up well and your on-ballers and midfielders and really good skills there, so you see it out of the back line into the middle, but then also into the forward line. They'll either go to the fat side or they'll kick to a lead that's already started when the ball's coming through the wing half forward area, and that's a sign of I think good coaching and good team structures, and for players to understand what's required of them. And I know they've got plenty of depth. We were talking earlier with the president, and they've got some young players coming through, and there's plenty of depth here as well. So, you'd want to be playing quite well at this point. They're an up-and-coming club.
They certainly are.
Very well drilled.
If you look around the league and you look at all the clubs that are really going somewhere, they've all got juniors. There's the start. So you've got people like Glenunga, North Haven, all doing great, really, really big things at the moment. All those clubs are juniors, Teacher Gully, Modbury, etc., etc. So.
Yes, and if you can see the fruits of your labour, you're going to be in for the long haul rather than just a quick fix. Yeah, so let's look back here. I see Salisbury break into their forward mids and yeah. So let's look back here. I see Salisbury break into their forward mids and backs in the huddle. And as we see them walking out, that's exactly what we see. Bit of hands on hips.
Got to get more out of those big fellas up there. We've got Big Dalglish and who else is up there? Big Bradley Dalglish and Matt Fleming.
Yep. Who
a couple of big bodies need to take a grab.
Bubbled the ball across the boundary line down here in front of us on the wing, which was a good grab, but what ended up happening, he kicked it down to where perhaps he should have been. That's the trouble with pushing up the ground. So up they go, Salisbury kicking to the right, Glenunga to the left of the club room's end. So Salisbury couldn't quite grab it, and here's Henke again. Called him a few times. He's looking for that switch from one wing across the half forward. Spills onto the ground there, and Glenunga first the ball. Left foot, just a quick choppy kick. Glenunga pushes in front. The big fella there couldn't quite pick it up. Glenunga now with the ball on the ground. Geez, I've been calling that a bit. They seem to be first to the ball there, Luke.
Yeah, Big Wonky got his hands to it, but just couldn't hold on with a bit of a slips catch there, mate.
Yeah, and I see for Salisbury, the last player in that line is Padgy. Now he's come up, but he's guarding back at the goal square he was. Now the goal square is free, so if Glenunga can get a quick kick here, it could well bounce through. So they're onto it here. Quick handball. 1, 2, 3 handballs. It's in the air. Back up off the ground it goes. Ducks ahead. Salisbury they came wide, but I reckon that's to Glenunga's advantage. Padgy, I don't reckon he'll let us down. There he goes, and he's caught. Just bumbles it over.
He's running out of bounds. That's well done.
So he was in the goal square. He was over at that pack, and now he's on the other side of the ground. So I reckon his work rate is quite high today, but you can't just rely on one or two players to do the work.
Good defensive work running it out of bounds.
Have a look back here. Glenunga have got 2 or 3 clear, 30 metres behind the ball. He's kept that in. That Lincoln Bennett, that was, with a quick kick around the corner. Salisbury, little fumble right in front of goal. You can't afford that. There's that backward handball again by Glenunga. Backwards to go forwards. Lachlan Middleton, nice left-hand handball.
Still going backwards.
There they go. It's on 50, 45 out. Lines up. He's been kicked, put down after the play, and right into the teeth of goal and touched through.
Once again, far side of the ground. So backwards to go forward, far side of the ground.
So have a look at Glenunga. There's 2 or 3 of their players jogging out, and Salisbury are walking out. So already, Glenunga have got them covered too. Look at that line set up.
Yeah, Padgett, the designated kicker from the points.
He's got it all. So he's got 1 lead at the moment. Scott. So he's had to kick it to himself.
Come
out the half-back flank. That'll be over the line.
Oh, and that's a free kick to Glenunga. No one touched it. No one touched that.
Yeah, but he's kicked to himself, hadn't he? So it's play on. Kick to himself.
No, it doesn't matter. Still no one touched it.
Isn't it?
No.
Well, the umpires from the coaches' boxes are calling out.
Yeah,
and
that was right. It is a free kick.
Confusion raised supreme here. Umpires come in, they confer, and he's called a throw-in, which Salisbury were calling for. So we see the ruckman setting up. There's clear space behind him, clear ground, unless Salisbury run around behind. So there's that ball up. Down it comes, Beard again, quick hands, and he's kicked that straight into the centre circle. And look at Glenunga, they've just set up perfectly here.
Justin Bonnie.
Yeah, nice.
There they go,
it
that
kicks
far
out that
side.
half-forward flank.
Harry Prosser. Mark what he should have taken, probably.
Still after it himself, he's done it all. So we
There's
see Middleton off.
Those set rotations again.
Yeah, Middleton off, Larkham coming on. They just sneak on and off there, and we see Salisbury now with Brett Hermie come on, and Scott Belchin coming off. So the ball's on the far side wing for Salisbury. 3 or 4 numbers. He's got a player clear in the middle, doesn't seem. Turns inside, doesn't need to. Guy Ward, there he is, on the left foot. Switches out to that player we called off the bench.
They spread and run, it's good, isn't it?
And there it is, it's come from one far wing to half-forward flank and up high.
Well
and I reckon
done,
he
Andy Reid.
deliberately tapped that to this player.
Josh Henke.
And there it is in forward, and look at that grab.
Big Wonky. Big James Wonky.
And we picked it at the start of the game when the teams ran out. They've got height there, and height versus speed on a day like this. And if you've got speed will be height on a maybe a wet and windy day, but the height there certainly. That was that was very intelligent. Was that, who was it up high? Was it Bennett?
And, no, it was Andy Reid.
Yeah.
Reid, brilliant tap down.
And there it is.
Down to Josh Hankey.
Straight
Hankey
through.
in, and a very, very good mark to James Wunke's goal. That's his first for the day. And we go to the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's 6 goals, 440 to 2 points to Salisbury. So Salisbury really up against it now, backs to the wall stuff, mate.
Yeah, we've got that separation. It's not only on the scoreboard, but it's physical, it's mental, and once you get that ascendancy, the drop away on the other side is equal as well. So we'll see whether Salisbury can mount something here.
I don't know, it's early now, but it's looking like a 90-100 point job.
Look at Beard again. Salisbury have got that and kicked that down to centre half forward, but it's just a rush kick. Ball's on the ground, 50-50, pack ball. We'll probably see another ball up here. And all the players around the ground, from the forward line are up. So the big fella now is just jogging back, Matthew Fleming. If they can get it to him, he's got about 6 inches on his full back there.
That's what I was calling for earlier.
And here it comes, but that's a right foot check side. Now he's got to work
really
30 or 40 metres.
No.
Yeah.
Making him run. I mean,
and now he's caught out there. If that ball comes back in, they've got nothing up forward now, Salisbury, because he hasn't left that spot where that last ball got to.
Clear out the forward line, leave your two big guys or one big guy in a pendulum, one out in square, 30 metres out, and let him take a catch.
So Lincoln Bennett, talking about catching, was trying to claim that mark as Glenunga came down the line about 40 metres. Umpire didn't pay it, so we have a ball up here on the far side. Up it goes. And I reckon that was third man up there. Salisbury now just a bomb forward again. So they've got the big fella there in Dalglish. If they can get a clean grab, then maybe get it down further. But of course now we see Matthew Fleming is right up outside 50. And if we look down, there's nothing forward for Salisbury. So he's once again, if he gets that ball, he's kicking to where he needs to be, 30 or 40, 50 metres off the ball. As we speak, Glenunga now mopping up a scrappy kick. Out the back on the 45 degrees. They love doing that and not afraid to come inside. Have a look at that, Luke.
CJ.
That's gutsy football. Inside. Quick handball there. The young fella there.
CJ Bennett.
CJ Inglis. Yep. And that's just come undone, but you've got to try it the way they're going on the scoreboard. So Salisbury have sped. There's a couple of runners out wide. There's one backward of the ball here. So
Leesy
not
blame
looking
me for trying. He took the game on.
Yep. And there's the advantage. The big fella there, is that Fleming?
Yep.
Now, I reckon he's going to have a shot because the other big fella, Bradley Dalglish, is just walking back with hands on hips in the goal square, not even looking.
He's sucking a
So, but that could be confidence in his teammate's kick. So, give him the benefit of the doubt here. So, he's lining up 50 metres. He'll probably kick this at 45. He's kicked on 50, the left footer. And what's he done? 1 point. Didn't quite spin right. Looked a tired kick, really, didn't it? Backed himself, but looked a tired kick. So Glenunga holding the ball up. Stop, start, stop, start. There's the lead. Comes from Greats. Good hands, solid looking player.
Smart footballer, this lad.
Next kick down the line. There's Henke and the big ruckman.
He's been good today, Henke.
So the Salisbury ruckman's on the mark when in fact someone else should have taken the mark and the ruckman could have got down to the next contest. So yeah, just some of the basics there. Up it goes. Guess who? Beard to the ground. Glenunga are going to get a ball up here. And now having called that, now the ruckman for Salisbury's 50 metres off the ball, having to run down, and Beard's already there. So let's just see. He's done a good effort to get there. He may still put the body in. Nah, Beard in front once again. The big Salisbury ruckman just can't get a fist to that ball, so we're getting another ball up. So he's fairly working quite hard.
Under 8 footy. If you're the ruckman, you get down the contest, you let the little bloke look after
it wasn't a shot at goal. So out they come on the left foot there is Daniel Knox, and a quick kick into the middle of the ground. So they're looking, but it's just about a 40-metre kick to a 50-50. Trying to protect the space was the big fella there. The ball bobbles out now. Glenunga up in the air, down on the ground. Glenunga are clear here. 5 metres clear. Let's see the kick. Just slow the feet down, son. He's just hit that high and wide and handsome in the air. Contest, and it's going to roll out of bounds. So just those last 2 steps, he got free. Just slow the legs down and direct the kick.
That was Josh Henke again. He's been outstanding today.
It's been all right, yeah, really good actually. So Salisbury running the changes. Connor Reid coming on now, and that'll be
recruited from Freeling. Connor Reid.
Okay, and the big G, Matthew Gareffa, coming off. So it's coming down into Salisbury's centre forward position. Off hands, Glenunga again, and that was Bradley Dalglish. Just couldn't quite take the one grab. So, geez, Glenunga, look at them. They're fleet of foot, aren't they? I've called them as tall, but tell you what, they're fleet of foot. They're runners.
Look
at that. One step,
great kick.
bang.
Ooh, out in front.
Into a pack. Made it hard for the Salisbury defenders. And Glenunga have picked that up and centred the ball. It's right in a hot spot. One grab, round the corner. Look at that.
Goal.
There it is.
Good
Lincoln
goal.
Bennett.
Link Bennett.
An intelligent play by the player out there. Was it... can't pick him up at the moment, but centred the ball.
Yeah, it was. Smart.
Hot spot.
Smart,
Yep,
smart.
just turned and centred. So look at the size of this guy, Harry Prosser. He's be 6'2", 6'3", maybe even a bit higher.
Kicked 70 odd goals last year for him.
Yep. So he's about to come on. Geez, you take one off, you put another one on. Imagine having a match up with that.
And they got Mickey McMahon at the Crows too. He's also that size. So last year they're all in that forward line. So,
and that was Nicholas Wunke coming off, and Harry Prosser's just trotting around on his own. In fact, he's made it easy. He's run to the Salisbury player. No, he's on his own now. The Salisbury player picks him up, but he's the tallest out of that forward line there. As we look, up goes the ruckman. Nice left-hand tap. Now that's intelligent. Thomas Beard. I know we keep calling him, but we might do a bit of micro calling and just actually give you an idea of what he's doing. So left-hand tap, deft. Out it comes Glenunga now.
Rats.
In the back line, yeah, intelligent. Over the top of that pack.
What
2 on 1.
Great punch
Yeah,
away.
good courage. Salisbury, here he is again.
Padgett,
Geez, he's got
yeah.
some ball. Out to the helmeted lad here. Hey, I'll tell you what, he's directed that kick, Matthew Shields, and they're calling for it downfield. The umpire's taking it back. Lachlan Middleton just waiting to get back on as well, hungry for that leather.
He's getting a bit of the footy too, Matty Shields here.
Yep, doesn't mind having a go. Head down and he's...
Padgett, Shields. Yeah,
let's have a look. There comes the lead. And the big fella just can't quite get there. Cut off by Bonnie.
Young Bonnie.
Cross there. Short to a tall. Look at this. Away they go. Sam Abel down the ground, long to the wing. And I'll tell you what, he's...
I thought Glenunga's depth might get tested today. They got let out injured, but it hasn't been the case. So you've got guys like Connors and Larkham and Bonnie and Skellington and Henke have come into the side and all performing admirably.
Just saying they're spread well. Salisbury push forward here. Here's an opportunity. And player falls over the ball. Goes back again. That's a good effort. They've held it in. Held it in from there. Just on that last kick in from the far side, Salisbury gutsy effort to bring it inside. Missed the target though. But they were lucky enough. They've got it 20 metres out of goal here. The umpire balls it up. They're all lining up. And bobbles around. Out come Glenunga. They're just structured with their clearances. Look at that. Away he goes. Has a bounce. Just couldn't quite get a fingernail to him. Right in the middle of the ground now. Ball goes forward. And look at that play.
Link Bennett onto Prosser.
Yeah.
Is that Prosser? No, it's not
that's
Prosser.
Larkham. And there's that spot again. And that player has come off, I reckon that's off the back lines. At number 11 there, Sam Abel.
Yep.
I reckon he's either out of the back pocket or half-back flank. He's followed that ball down, and they're not afraid to go from the middle of the ground, just a little bit out to the right. And Abel will line up probably 30 metres from goal. Slight angle, kicking towards the crowd, club rooms. Changes are plenty here.
Pernix end of the ground, and he slotted it
straight over the umpire's head.
At the Pernix end of the ground.
So we see Bennett coming off, and young CJ Inglis coming on, and Brian Lee's there up talking to his players, pointing out some strategies and tactics, and really working well with his players.
Second goal for Sam Abel, and we just go to the firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's Glenunga 8-4-52 to Salisbury 3 behind. So it's a 49-point lead, and we are 13 minutes and 20 seconds into the second term.
And Salisbury have just put the G-man back onto the wing here. Bit Dane Swanish looking, and he's straight into that pack and can't quite get there as we see a ball up. So the wings have come in a little bit here on both sides. So we get that congestion. Out it comes. Look at the players line up at the back of that contest there for Glenunga, and I like to see that the midfield there. That was Guy Ward there. He immediately ran defensive on that ball up, so he ran Salisbury's way so that he could run back through the midfield. So punch forward for Glenunga, up in the air, bobbles around, and that's well done again. We've got a free kick out here. Nice kick, contest, good contest right on the wing, 2 on 1. Tries to dribble it forward. Glenunga again, straight around, and good eyes.
Yeah,
just lowered the eyes. Middleton now with the ball, looking inside. He's got players aplenty he can go to. He's holding it up now.
There from Brian Ellis. Well done.
Reckon he's going to go down to the pocket. That's a
ugly
helicopter.
Kick.
Salisbury first the ball, but it's bounced out of. You could almost say that was a set play. So we got Big Wonky now coming on, and the ruckman once again, Thomas Beard, coming off. So Wonky's just set up behind the play now. So he's been up forward. He's now rucking, or set up behind the play.
This warm day, they're going a little bit smaller today.
Geez, strong and hard at the ball there was Lachlan Middleton. Couldn't quite take it. We see Padgett just on the side of this, hands on knees. Very, very much the dominant player for Salisbury. Good use of the ball.
The general back there.
Yeah, there he goes again. He's in. Glenunga punch it clear, straight out, juggling it around. He's trying to do it all, but out it comes. So the big fella, the big call of yours, and here's Wonky, comes up, bobbling around for Glenunga, quick across. Thomas Edwards it was, gets the handball across. He's looking at a target. That's a 50-50. So into the forward line, mopping up, high, wide, and handsome, and that was Guy Ward there. Quite quick anticipation. So we're setting up now.
They're really under pressure. This Salisbury backline now, aren't they?
All the players are in one half of the ground except for two Glenunga players back here.
They're under the pump.
So look at that kick. Oh, and he's put it down. Bobbling around now. Glenunga onto that and runs straight into it. And he's been pushed. And that was Bo Skellington.
Good work from the Salisbury defender just to lay a hand on him there, just to push him off balance.
So Ryan Padgett has been asked to do it all, and here he is again with the kick in. He's looking around. There he is. Kicks to himself. Gets it. Just gets around.
Sells a bit of candy.
He's got it. Still got it. And down it comes towards half-back flank. Ruckman can't quite. Oh, cleaned up off the pack there was Hanky, and there's a little bit going on.
That was a good bump.
Yeah, it was all fair, and it's a free kick Salisbury trying to take off here. So it's right on the half-back flank.
Gory's made him go in beyond the mark.
So what's he got to kick to? They've got three little ones set up here, and I'd like to see Matthew Fleming.
Jack Matthews, the brother of the great David Bird, who I had the pleasure of coaching at Portland.
Matthew Fleming's the target here, and he's been caught there. Could not get around. When it's against you, it's against you.
Yeah, they're struggling, aren't they, the Magpies?
Yes, just a touch. So Glenunga now kicks that straight into the hot spot. Look at that lead. What's happened there? Players are in the way. It spills to ground, and there's a screwy. Wouldn't be surprised if he gets taken off for that, kicking a screwy. Salisbury player still down. Yeah, Salisbury player now.
Padge taking it out to the far side this time.
Keenahan just limping, still feeling that down on the haunches. Here it comes. Two possessions now, two clean possessions for Salisbury. What happens next? The ruckman's on his own inside, but 20 metres square of the play. Shakes his head, doesn't get it. Long time hanging on to this ball and kicked into the man on the mark. So, geez, and he's just about cleaned up there. I reckon that might be high. So he gets another go at it. I reckon that's Matthew Fleming, number 21. Looking for number 20, Connor Reid. So he's looking around, waiting for the ball to come back. Wouldn't be surprised if he handballed, and that's a 25 metre there.
It finally gets the ball out of the Salisbury back half.
So they've had two clean possessions, a fumble, and a funny kick down the line there. The big fella goes up, can't take it. Ball to ground, sprinting after it, going in for the tackle, and I'll tell you what, he's got him there.
Good
and the
tackle.
umpires paid that. That was a really good effort there by Fleming. He went up for the mark and he went back after the play, and he's go back, son.
Yeah,
got a bit excited.
Got Aaron Manning in the tackle, and yeah, well done.
About 60 out, and he's gone that left foot hook kick, just up in the air, spills to ground, ball bubbling around. That's a high kick. That's about 30 up, 30
Might
down.
have had him a bit high.
Glenunga now off the ground. Yeah, just knowing. Look how structured they are. Looking down the ground. He's going to come out on that left foot. It's hit the ground here. 3-on-1 to Salisbury. Should get this out. Fall over, and here they go.
Lucky Middleton.
Yep. Running at goal. He's on the left. Oh, he's cleaned up just as he kicked it. Touched through. Charging through there was the Salisbury player. And guess who? Ryan Padgett has to trot back. Although, will we see Jaden Tucker? No, Padgett's going to have the free. Reckon he might play on again here.
He's a designated kicker.
Yeah, there it goes. 20-metre kick. And that's Matthew Goodsy.
Little hit up. And then
straight out of the pocket. They're coming back across. Although he's going to run into trouble here because there's really no one clearly to kick to, so it kicks to a 50-50. Glenunga mop up again. 1, 2, 3. We're
Lucky
outside
Middleton.
on the left foot. Have a look at that.
Oh,
Hey, there is a crowd pleaser.
Lucky Middleton.
There's the crowd pleaser on the left foot,
Goal of the day.
deep in the pocket.
Goal of the day, Lucky Middleton.
And you know why he does that? Because he can.
Oh.
That was sensational.
So we're going to go to the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's Glenunga who had 9 goals, 8, is it? 62,
yep.
And Salisbury had 3 points.
3
Sorry
points.
about that. The scoreboard's a fair way away and only very small, isn't it?
Yes, it is. And so, yeah, good sensational play there. Glenunga have got a bit of a sniff at it here. So Salisbury have manned up. A few of them are behind their players, which isn't going to work in the middle. We see that about 5 metre punch forward by Glenunga. Out it comes, and if he's not careful, he's going to get caught here. Takes a bounce.
He's
2 bounces. He's gone to
straighten
straighten up. And now he's run himself into a little bit of trouble. And he's kicked that into the points that goes through. Took the run.
Took the game on. Well done.
And he was chased there by Josh Henke, who I haven't minded, but couldn't quite catch him. And the umpires are now saying, is it out of bounds on the full?
Looked like a point from
It was clearly through for a point. It may have hit the back of the post. That's the conjecture here. So, bit of conjecture. Umpires are discussing, and I think it's going to be a ball in.
No, I think it was a point, wasn't it?
Well, a well-earned rest for the players.
Yeah, it's a point.
Andy Reid wanting to come on. Call his play on, but he's kicked it out wide 30
that
metres.
Andy Reid is a
Pinpoint.
superstar. He is a superstar.
That is a pinpoint. And we see Henke coming off there. I'd hate to think that was because he didn't get the player in that chase, but no, he's done well.
No, he's been really good today, Henke.
Andy Reid's come on and getting a pat on the back from the coach. That's good to see. Good encouragement.
Great
Up
switch.
it comes. That's a
well
great
done.
grab there. Yep.
And good catch.
On the left foot. Guess what? Straight into centre half forward. Salisbury are under pressure here. 2, 3, 4 Glenunga players surround him. And he's all on his own. So we've got a ball up.
Bo Skellington sitting in there,
Yep.
and CJ Inglis and a few others.
And Brad Dalglish has come into the ruck, but over the top, third man up. And that was, who was it? James Wunke over the top there. And here's a kick out. Salisbury on the...
Jack
he's
Matthews.
gone around. Here's this guy that did the run
bit of
before.
candy.
Yep, another player clear there. Not really aware of what's going on around them, though. Oh, and he's caught him before he had the ball there, the big fella, and absolutely slammed him into the ground, Matthew Fleming. And they're going to be rewarded. He's going to come back on the left. There he goes. Around he goes. And he's kicked that across the ground about 10 metres in front of where he was.
Yeah, good spoil.
Glenunga, look at that. 1, 2.
That's Prosser
Bend the
all
back.
the way back.
No, he's clever little socket, the one of his own players. Salisbury ringing the changes here. Yeah, not surprised there. Jack Matthews had a few good touches there. Has come off. And we see Scott Belchin coming on. He's just on the wing here.
His brother David Bird, he can seriously play, so he would have learned something from him.
Okay, so ball up on the far side, punch forward,
Brand
good as
Ellis.
a kick, 30-40, and this guy's got fresh air behind
Brand
him.
Ellis, yeah.
There he is, look at that, clever
Little
kick.
hit-up kick.
And is
That's
that
big
Wunke? Yep, let's see what he does. He's got the lead in short.
James Wunke.
And there's a player drifting down the wing as we speak, all on his own, Andy Reid, on this far side. So if they can get that forward, he's still free here, Reid. If it falls to ground, it hasn't happened, but Salisbury are going to be clear here. Yep, out on the half-back flank. He's got a bit of a chase on now.
The Jedi
Coming from
warrior.
Andy Reid. That's a good chase by Reid. Not quite there, but enough to put the kick off. Around it goes, turns inside out.
And the horse runs it out. So
yeah, little pat on the back.
yeah,
Hands on heads.
Jose the horse, as they call him.
So the ruckman, yes, they're in place now. Salisbury behind their players. I keep saying that. Once you're a metre behind, that's the metre you're never going to make up.
Yeah,
Lo and behold, Great's away with it. And that's a good grab in the back line there. That's Patrick Kennyhan.
Third in their best and fairest last year was Patrick.
Nice kick too, inside. It's what happens next from here. Can they put 2 or 3 kicks or handballs together? They've got another man free here, and that's Matthew Goods. Goes back, has a look. He's on the left foot, but there we go. It's that 40 to 50 metre bomb to a contest. Ball to ground now. Fleming trying to do it all on his own. Player caught, one hand. The ball's been flung out. Umpires let that go. And Glenunga clear. great kick down the ground. Brant Ellis, he's out on the wing, comes directly inside. Risky. Wonky. Off he goes. Inside, short pass. Salisbury mop up. Cohen Biddle. Right at centre half back here. Just hold it up. So he's gone to switch, but he's actually kicked that backwards and high to a contest. Ball to ground. Glenunga, 1, 2, 3, 4 players around it. Salisbury players done well there.
Well done.
He's caught. Ball's going to spill out. Glenunga again. And around we go. Is that?
It's Abel.
That's Abel again. Yep. Look at that. Inside.
Just
ball hits the ground. The young bloke, Inglis, handball's out 45. That's a long way out. He's kicked that, and he's kicked that high, wide, and handsome for a point.
Their kicking's just been off that last 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
Just missing their targets. Just
that last goal, the highlights package on the sideline, and they've just rested on their laurels a bit there. Salisbury have got it out.
Just not quite hitting their targets. And you couldn't get a better day to say, I mean, you're going to hit up targets today. It's perfect, isn't it?
And just as we're talking about that, the Glenunga coach just talking about efficiency.
We've gone 25 minutes and 25 and a half minutes into the second quarter.
Off the back of the pack there, Lachlan Middleton mops up. He's been caught there. They're away again here. This big fella here, Wonky's been quite lively this quarter. That's a long kick down into the goal square. Ball on the ground. Salisbury, nice 50-50 here. As Skellington it was, low to the ground. Guess who? Guy Ward, quick handball out. One way, then the other for Abel. And it's into the goal square, and there's a goal, a mark. And there, that'll be
25,
about 3 metres. Brant Ellis. Yeah, they worked that out well, Glenunga. They just know their players are off the back of the pack. I mean, it's basic stuff, but the 45-metre handball, 4 or 5 metres, 3 metres, they set up. Good football at this level. Another shot at goal there.
Straight over his head.
Onto the roof it goes. Players will get a little bit of a rest now.
And I spoke in that latter part of the first quarter about this could blow out to 100 points, and I get that feeling now.
We're fairly heading that way, and have a look at the body language. A few heads down, hands on hips. I spoke about the hydration at the start of the game. 2%, and you start to get your skill errors, and your thinking goes out the door. But geez, when you're behind on the scoreboard like that as well,
you go to the Harley Heaven and the firm scoreboard, and it's 10-9, 69 to 4 points. So you get a 65-point margin. Nearly half time, so Salisbury are going to get a rest, but
so up it goes. Big fella. There was
Abel.
that Wonky. Wonky to Abel, yep. And down forward again for Glenunga. Ball to ground. Let's see if Salisbury can mop up. Fumbling along the ground here. Good shepherd in the back there for the Salisbury player. He's down on the hands and knees.
And that's holding the nut. He has
Patrick
not
Keenan
tried to get that out. Gory gives him the benefit of the doubt.
Yeah, he doesn't mind using the body. I saw him earlier put the body in, but he also copped the knock. But he's recovered quite well there, Keenahan. And ball
have
up
a look when
right
they're setting up
back.
just in behind in the contest. Bang,
there
and that's
it
where
is.
it's going to go.
Exactly as you call it. It doesn't matter who gets it, because here it is. Salisbury caught, back out they go again. They've still got another one if they want, but
There's
they go
one
forward.
Out yep.
Ball in the centre of the ground, 26 there, streaming forward. There's a contest. The ground.
Every stoppage, there's 3 blokes at the back of the deck.
Salisbury have come back inside there, and here's the big fella, Wonky. Oh, right on the siren.
Is he going to pay that or not?
And I reckon
no.
I reckon he kicked that, but no goal.
No goal. So we're going to go to the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard. It is half-time here at Webb Oval, and Glenunga 10-9, 69 to Salisbury 4 behind. So 65 points in the favour of the Rams. We just go through the goal kickers. Brant Ellis has 1. Guy Ward has 1. Lockie Middleton has 1, which was a goal of Abel has 2. He's the only multiple goal kicker. Link Bennett has 1. Harry Prosser has 1. Andy Reid has 1. Dylan Smith has 1, and James Wonky has 1. So 9 goal kickers there for
spread of players or a good blend. And as we look at him just on half time there, there's Mark Pittman at the back, and he's quite tall. And then there's 4 or 5 players that are equal in height to him. Former Crows ruckman just standing around there. So they're
big Dave Pittman. He's
Dave Pittman, sorry,
assistant coach.
Pittman,
yeah. Assistant
but
coach here at the Rams.
You know, there's few tall players there, and as they're coming off there, they'll be quite happy at half time. 19 shots to 4, so 15 or so extra scoring shots. And we see here Salisbury have decided to stay out on the ground, and if we go through, I'll just go through some of the players for Salisbury. Obviously, Ryan Pageant stand out for them, really trying hard there, and doesn't seem to be letting things get to him. And one of the things we talk about with players is your traits as a footballer shouldn't be determined by the scoreboard. You keep doing what you do, no matter what the scoreboard is. And Pageant seems to be one of those ones that
Matty Shields is really putting in hard.
Keeps at it, yeah.
What's his name? Young Jack Matthews is trying to take the game on.
Yes, seen him with a couple of really good runs and bounces. And, if his teammates can pick up on, it's a bit like that Johannesson at the Bulldogs. He's an 80-metre player. He'll run and carry 30 or 40 metres and then he'll kick at 40. So, you gain 80 metres out of it. So, yeah, he's been quite impressive. I see Matthew Fleming's really been trying hard in the contests, and he comes down deep on the ground and then pushes back, and they can't seem to settle on where they need him, whether he should be up the ground further or down forward. Probably, for what it's worth, my opinion is get him up the ground a little bit, at least be a target and play through him, through the wing or the middle of the ground, if that's what they're going to do, and set the other players up. Patrick Keenahan put his body in quite well, got crunched, but kept going that quarter. But from there, they're trying, but it just does drop away a little bit there.
We're just going to, in a minute, we're just going to go across to an ad break, and we're just going to cross over to Jono and he'll run a few adverts, and then we just have a bit of a break just at half time. And we welcome everyone back to the Webb Oval just to start the second half. And once again, we'd like to thank our sponsors for making this all possible. Our gold sponsors, Harley Heaven and the Firm, Crazy Horse for being our gold sponsors, fantastic. The silver sponsors, Northern End is the Pernex end of the ground, smarter with data. And the Southern End, HydroSmart Pure Water Shop. And if you're a footy club out there and you want to get some, really good a company to handle your data, Pernex, ideal, tracking your players, does, all that new stuff that I know this week they've done a great deal with Arsenal and with Leeds United in the United Kingdom, and met with Liverpool, working with Port Adelaide Football Club with the power. So fantastic, as is HydroSmart and the Pure Water Shop. Our bronze sponsors, ChemCert, Mackay Business Services, our Murder Station in the far north, looking to go to the far north, fantastic. Rewards International and Southern Trophies, do some amazing trophies down there. Big screen video, if any clubs are looking to get one of those new electronic scoreboards, fantastic. Good Evans Consulting, MGA Insurance Brokers for your motoring needs. And of course, for all your footy jumpers and shorts and anything sporting goods, Sports Centre, Port Road Sports, call in and see Ian Knight, and they'll look after you.
Well, both teams back on the field. I see Glenunga actually went down into the change rooms, whereas Salisbury pulled over here in the shade, and I went over and had a bit of a listen, and a few players were speaking up and just pulled over here in the shade, and I went over and had a bit of a listen, and a few players were speaking up and just talking about things that'll be interesting without letting too many secrets out, but they picked the Glenunga positioning of the ball out wide, going through the middle and out the other side, and the talk around it was, let's be proactive and get the running going. So,
but why was it only just picked up when it was evident 5 minutes into the first quarter?
Yep, and I was just about to say it'd be interesting to see what happens when Glenunga gets 1 or 2 goals here, whether the players still are trying to be proactive and just take it on. So up it goes in the middle, Beard again, down again. How many times have we seen just about caught in the middle? No, the ball goes up. It's still right in the centre circle. Big tackle there. Call of ball from the Salisbury side, and they've convinced the umpire. But it was a good tackle. So that was the G.
The G.
With a kick down forward. Almost a grab. Through comes the Salisbury player. That'll be that little number 8 again. He's kicked that on the left. So they are up and about. As I was explaining, Jack Matthews. So, yeah, very good there. They were told to...
he's taking the game on.
Take the game on.
Got their first goal.
Run.
So you look
Get
on
it up and going.
The Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's 10-9-69 to 1-4-10.
So that quick kick in. Ball bubbled around, and then lo and behold, Jack Matthews, and I like his speed. I like what he's got to offer. Yeah, really good there. So the ball goes up again. Let's see what happens again. And Salisbury have got it out again. Player falling forward, but the ball's at centre half forward. 4, Salisbury out the back handball. Another handball
again.
Into the forward pocket. Tap there, almost like volleyball.
Whoa, the G,
and that,
hits in
the
hard.
G-man just put himself over the ball. Glenunga have mopped up. Let's see if he's looked out for the switch, and he's coming through almost too far, and he has been caught.
Certainly much more intent they've come out with Salisbury, haven't they?
They have, yep.
Harder at the footy, harder at the ball carrier, and being rewarded so far.
So this is Daniel Knox. He's had a bit of the ball as well. Quite ambitious. He's on about 60 here. Lining up, must back himself. Runs out to the right a little bit. He's got hold of that, and it's going to fall into the goal square. Down to the ground it comes. Salisbury have picked that up, mopped it up, and there's a point there to
Jamie
Wormer.
Wormer
it was, yep. So the ball down Salisbury's end, yep.
We've only been going, about 4 minutes in the third quarter, and yeah, they've done all the attacking.
So there's one man on the mark. Glenunga have come short. 15-metre kick. And he's popped that just over the top, and that's a nice kick there. And
Manning.
Great Manning, is it?
Manning.
With the ball. So there's a call straight down the line. They've set up well. They've got a big ruckman. Is that Wonky there? Punched by Salisbury to the ground. Salisbury player there. That's that 16. Kennyhan again. Out the back. Left foot
Good smother from Connors
Ball
there.
still in play. Look at that.
Yeah,
Kept
well done to Jack Connors. Great smother.
Handball inside, and that's Prosser there bending his back. Pops it up right in front. Look at that, 3 handballs.
Guy Ward.
Couldn't quite get it around the corner, and I reckon that's come through for a point.
That was all made possible by a great smother by Jack Connors there, and kept the ball in. And yeah, so that one of those 1%ers, and yeah, well done to him.
Yep, that was really well done, and not playing to the whistle, was just playing good football because the ball was still in. So we see now Padgie's probably put an extra 20 metres in outside of the oval there.
Right at the Hydrosmart end of the ground there.
He's doing it all today.
Hydrosmart pure water into the ground.
So he's back in the goal square now with the ball tucked under the arm. He's looking around. He's looking out this side. He's looking through the middle. Going by his last few kicks have been about the 20, 30 metre.
No one's offering much.
So there it goes.
Little short one.
Yeah, out of the pocket. Here's our runner. Can he do it again? Jack Matthews goes long down the wing. 2-on-1. Push in the back. Has to be. And that's Brett's. Very nice, neat kick of the ball, this lad.
Yeah,
it goes into the middle.
Got a good footy brain, this lad.
Yeah. Through to Larkham. Larkham around in a circle. Goes back to Gratz, back to Larkham. They're waxing.
Sharp
getting
hands.
the points. There it is on the half-forward flank out wide. And that'd be Abel, I'd say, out there.
Not blessed with a lot of leg speed, Gratz, but he makes up with it because he thinks well before every other player.
There's the ball for Salisbury. It's come clear of that pack, and he's come straight across the ground onto the wing.
Brant Ellis.
Glenunga. Yep.
That was a great pass, wasn't it? Picks it straight to the Glenunga bloke.
Straight inside again.
Manning finds Manning in the middle of the ground.
So
looking for a hit-up kick. Oh, Mark, what he should have taken, this big beard.
That was Matthew Fleming that dropped that one, but it was interesting to see they have brought him up the ground a bit. Players walking there, out the back there. Now these two players, Pageant and Matthews, if they had a few more. There goes Matthews again. He's done this several times today. He's run down the ground, helicopter kick, but you know what? It's gone forward 30, 40 metres to their advantage, and the ball's going to be out of bounds, so they get a throw in. Yeah. And have a look back down the ground now. A lot of players trying to get down to where that ball is. So that's the speed that this young lad does have, and that Salisbury should capitalise on.
Yeah, ball just out of bounds there on a half-forward flank at the Pernex end of the ground, and getting thrown back in, and Salisbury going to get this stoppage. They've won the stoppage. Glenunga going to run the ball away down the far side wing. That's CJ Inglis has taken
all on his own out there, isn't he? Straight off the surfboard and onto the wing.
A little hit-up kick.
Perfect. Walked into that one.
That's Henke, it looked like, on the far side there.
You're right.
Looking for big fish.
Missed the target. Look at him turn. That's nice. Very athletic. And that's a great kick into the teeth of goal, almost over the top.
Is that Manning?
And that's Bennett. Lincoln Bennett.
Good mark.
And just while all that was happening, the Hermie came off, and the Jedi, Jed Banwell, came on for Salisbury. And we see another player. They're ringing the changes now. This would be the G coming off, and on goes number 2 there, Scott Belchin, as we're waiting for this shot.
Justin McPherson, I noticed that their boots are off for the day. He's done for the day. He come off in that first quarter, so it looked like he's done a hamstring or an ankle. It looked like a hamstring, I think.
And there's a nice goal from the pocket with the wind sort of behind him there. Could have blown that ball across, but well structured where they're kicking. Lincoln Bennett there. So Glenunga now just pushing away a little bit. Let's just see whether Salisbury drop off or whether they stay where they are. See if they can get it forward again.
Second goal for Link Bennett.
So we see the wingers on this side starting back behind the ball, so the left of the centre as we speak. They're about 20 metres, or probably 15 metres back. Up goes the ball. Ruckman doesn't get there for Salisbury, so Beard gets a free tap. It's on the ground. Here go Glenunga, and a shepherd in the back there by Beard. Glenunga forward, first the ball. Bit hard for the big fella there to bend the back to get down to that. So Wonky trying to keep it in down there. They have a ball in.
Lots of numbers around the fall of the ball in the middle of there, Glenunga, and fresh legs, lots of fresh legs.
And have a look back here. We've got Beard 30, 40 metres off the ball, setting up. They've got another player across the middle now. Salisbury from here, unless they can hit a target and have a look at that. He's popped that straight up. Can't quite get under it, Beard, but put the contest in. Salisbury out the back door, 10 metres back.
Padgett
And there's a
hits
nice
up the
kick
target.
inside.
Always uses the ball.
And the big
Well,
fella,
Padge.
Acco, or Pigeon, has kicked square
Switch kick.
across the other side. Jedi has it down the line to the wing. Fast leading. Here we go again. Look at him go.
Matthews.
Have a look at him. He's got
Jackie
the
Matthews.
afterburners on. He's had one.
Playing
He's
well.
looked inside.
Oh!
Around he goes. He's done
Well
the left
done.
ball handball. And that player's dropped it. You hear the sigh. What an excitement machine is young Matthews, eh?
Oh, well, him and Padgett have been clearly their best two players.
I tell you what, Lee, he put the afterburners on then. He just ran away there. There was fresh air between him and the Glenunga player chasing.
Has a little bit of toe, doesn't he?
Very good to see. Good on the young lad taking it on.
Yeah.
So ball in just next to the post here. Glenunga end. Salisbury tap it down. A lot of players around the ball. Sorry, the Salisbury end, I should say. There's a soccer off the ground, and it's been given.
This is a free that isn't given often enough in our game
You're
today
correct.
because so many guys get their fingers kicked off and all sorts happen, especially in the AFL game. They just don't pay it.
And I can remember as a junior coming up, we were taught not to soccer off the ground, and you certainly hope you got your mouth guard in when that sort of stuff's going on. So we see Scott Belcher now lining up.
Yeah, well done, Nagori. Good decision then.
So he's come in. He's kicked that high.
Has he got a goal?
I reckon that's straight over the umpire's head. Salisbury have picked up a bit here. They've kicked two. Two going down to that left-hand side. As we see, waiting to come on now, Dylan Smith. Hands on hips, and Glenunga player coming. Actually, they're wheeling the changes here. Sorry, Andy Reid coming on, just about to come on. And
they've certainly responded to Shane Slater's half-time address anyway.
Yes, and young Connors has come off. And that was basically, let's pull the pin, let's take them on. Let's get a bit of run and carry going, and nothing left to lose. Try and cut Glenunga off from switching the play. There's Beard again.
Funnily enough,
here comes Salisbury.
In the opening round of the season, Glenunga were 30 points in front at half time and stopped them third quarter there.
Well,
so I just wonder if this is
that inside their head?
Is it endemic? I don't know.
Yep. First year up into Division 4. You get those little thoughts creeping. I mean, they're well ahead at the moment. You wouldn't like to think so,
but they are going to get beaten.
But against a closer team, these sort of things can happen. So we see the ball come forward just as we speak. Salisbury clear. So we've missed a target. The big fella. Look at that courage by the lad in the helmet there running back, and there's that Grundy just about there with the ponytail. He's horse putting in the work rate. I tell you what, it's going to spill out to him.
Attacking the footy.
So it's a free, and 50. 25, sorry. No.
Oh, I just thought that was two guys attacking the footy pretty hard.
So Connor Reid reels around, kicks it to the hot spot. There was a lead there, out the back there. Off for hands.
Jack
Guess
Matthews.
who? There he is. Jack Matthews. The excitement machine drives through.
Two goals this quarter to Jack Matthews. And
what a clean take.
Yep, front and centre where you should be, where all little fellas should be. And you have a look on the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's 11 goals, 10-76 to Glenunga, and Salisbury 3-5-23, and 3 of those goals this quarter.
And Matthews there, often talk with players about looking short, looking long, and I reckon he was looking long because he saw the goalpost, but he also knew what was around him. Just a clean take, bang on the boot, nice and calm, composed, and reward for effort. No, reward for effort, really impressive. So as they line up now, we've got the wingers on each side are now square. We've got a Glenunga player half-back flank, half-forward flank, halfway between the wing and half-forward on this side of the ground. And that's Larkham. So he's half-forward. Is he going to come in? No, he's staying out wide. So Beard again, and I think he's leaving the forward line open, that Larkham. So the ball is at centre half-back now. Salisbury bumbling around. They've 2-on-1 here. The ball's up. Yeah, been impressive. Pageant over the top. Here he goes. Matthews again. They're asking him to go all the way. They're asking him to do everything, but he's kicked that long into the goal square on the ground. Ball bobbles around. There's probably going to be a ball up here again.
Well, their best two players were involved in that bit of play there. Paget out to Matthews. Matthews long kick into the forward line. So
you picked it in one there, Luke. Spot on. So ball up now. Deep in the back line for Glenunga, or forward line for Salisbury. Up it goes. Fight for the ball. Tussle. It's on the ground. Glenunga can't run free. They're getting caught here. Salisbury, the horse gets down. Ball bumbling around on the ground now, a little bit of indecision, and we're going to see another ball up now in that first quarter. That would have been a clearance, I'd say, if I was honest.
Salisbury have really brought their A game in this third quarter.
Yep. They're not unaccustomed to playing football at this level, so up it goes. Out the back now, it's gone 30 metres Glenunga's way. The ruckman tussle for it. Padgett again out the back.
Jedi.
And he's had a look there. He's lifted the eyes and had a look to a lead. Ball hits the ground. Salisbury. Guess who? No.
Oh.
Jamie Wormald. Trying to bounce that through. That was Wormald there. And Salisbury are running back now. Here you go, Glenunga. It's a wide kick out. He's not going to make that.
Oh,
and there's Salisbury, number 27, Matthew Shields.
Yeah, he's also been handy today.
Hits a target, does he? No, he hits a Glenunga target. Number 8 there.
Little bit going on behind the play off the ball there.
Yeah, I couldn't see what was happening because Connors is waiting to come on now on the interchange bench. So there's that switch of play we speak about. Can they get 2 or 3? He's looked inside again from that half-back flank, and that's a beautiful kick.
Yeah, Manning and Biddle back there, not best of friends, I would have thought.
And down the ground, that was Harford to Ward there. Ward certainly knows his way around. There's a free kick on the half-forward line, Wonky. He just one step, pops it up, and there's a player 40 metres out, slight angle, and that looks like Larkham, Xavier Larkham. So let's have a look at his kicking action here as Salisbury ringing a few changes.
We might be wrong though. I think it is Larkham, but it is, we haven't seen his number and far side of the ground.
So Hermie back on, and the Jedi is off. So he lines up. Let's see the kicking action. Oh, he's dropped that quite high, and there's a grab. That'll be a set play. Wonky on the point post.
James Wonky.
Right on the point post. He's taken a step. The umpire's going to come in. Officiating here, setting the angle. Interesting, no one from Salisbury stopping the run around. Now there's a player coming around. He's pointing. Now the players come in. So he's on a very tight angle here.
There's a little block.
Side, yep, and he's scored a point.
Seeing that cropping up a lot now, we're actually the side has got the footy. He's actually blocking the guy on the mark.
Yeah.
And that happened in that case. So yeah,
like a shepherd or something coming in there. So Padgey's got
started by Hawthorn actually. So
it's actually a tactic. Yes.
Well, as soon as the umpire calls play on, they can actually block because it's not actually blocking within 5 metres of the ball. So yeah, it's a good tactic.
Padgett coming into Fleming on the half-back flank. The big fella, wheels on the left, down the wing. The ruckman can't quite take it there. Ball to ground. It's going to come just about, yes, and out of play. So yes, you're right. Little tactics like that and dropping back through to the amateur league.
Yeah, well, when guys like Alistair Clarkson think of something pretty smart.
Why wouldn't you use it?
Yep.
There it is. Once again, Beard taps it. Glenunga really, the run through there, I don't think they took advantage of it. You know, he's won, and there's a little bit, could be a headbutt about to happen here. Couple of blokes here, yeah, they're at each other like two little raging bulls. And down goes Matthew Shields, and that's
bit of acting
Xavier Larkham. So there's a little bit going on. Up goes that ball to a 50-50. Under the ball. Stays in play. Left-hand handball. Dropping the ball there with the Salisbury player. It's play on. Smothered there by Glenunga. Taken high. Taken high. No. Umpires let it go. And Salisbury are at them. They're ferocious. Out it comes. That was Daniel Knox coming forward. Around he wheels. Glenunga player there. Oh, he's caught there. Ball on the ground. Bit sloppy. Glenunga will get away with it here. And look at him charge at him. And you know, we're starting to go the player a bit rather than the ball.
Why didn't Salisbury bring this intensity in the first half?
Yep.
It's a different side.
And you can see some of those mistakes happening under pressure. Handball kicking skills. Ball goes up in the air. There's still a little bit going on between our two players just here in close. As the ball to ground, Salisbury drop it. Glenunga just get that clearance out. One more over the top, one at the back, another one out the back if they want it. Calling, and a short kick in. Oh, he's played on straight over the top,
well done,
running
Andy
into
Reid.
an open goal, and Wonky again.
Yeah,
and that was Andy Reid again.
James Wonky, handball from Andy Reid, and little 2 or 3 metre kick and straight through.
Lincoln Bennett just helping out there. The quality certainly comes to the top under that pressure we were talking about there. If you can keep at it, but you know, the quality players that know their way around, the Guy Wards and you know, the Lincoln Bennetts and these kind of players.
Yeah, Andy Reid's.
Andy Reid, yeah, for sure. You know,
Yeah,
they
Reid's high quality.
know what to do under pressure. So Larkham's out here on his own on the half forward flank, and his little mate Shields.
Atkinson and Beard going to do battle.
Yes, I'd be interested to see where his little mate Shields is, if he's still on. A little bit of byplay, and the big ruckman's taken a pretty hard knock there in the middle. Slow to get up, Beard. Says, I don't want anything to happen to him, and he's just limping out of the centre now, trying to run it off. And here comes Salisbury. Left foot kick down into the forward pocket. And there's a great one-handed grab. Running backwards. And look at that pinpoint kick. Some of the unheralded players, you know, just those little things like that. We've got Salisbury player down.
Broke down off the ball. Something's
Halfback flank. He's not real. He's just making his way up. He's got the orange boots. We're just waiting to see the number. And is he making his way off the ground? As that's happening, we see Bo Skellington about to come on. So a short for a tall. One of the Wonkies is coming off. I think that's Nicholas Wonky coming off.
Yep, Nick Wonky's come off and Bo Skellington's come on.
Yep. And the player for Salisbury's walking off with hands on head, but play goes on. So we could see a couple of little injuries or just a little bit of that tiredness creeping in. Ball up on the far side. Glenunga try to come forward, smothered by Salisbury and taken high.
Yeah, free kick.
And that is our man Jack Matthews.
Been outstanding.
Can he take a set kick or will he play on? Let's have a look. He's got a player free in the middle, goes back, just kicks it into the forward line, 40, 50 metres. Trying to use the body there was the big fella, Bradley Dalgish.
Certainly a player who could make it at the next level, I would have thought, Jack Manning.
Yeah, he's... Matthews.
Jack Matthews.
Yeah, he's a good one to watch, and you know,
yeah.
Put him in a different team and get the right people around him.
Yeah, no,
and that's no disrespect to Salisbury,
no,
but
no,
just I think he would be a good player in a good team, put it that way.
High quality, isn't he?
Yes. So we see our number 18, Larkham, coming off, and CJ Inglis has been in now the game. Get some good touches out there, so he trots on. So the ball on the half-forward line, just inside 50, far side for Salisbury at the moment. Let's see if they can capitalise, because another forward pocket from Salisbury's running up around the ball. So now we've got congestion. There's two players free, pretty much next to each other in the goal square. Out it comes, around on the left for Salisbury. Hits a Glenunga player, I'd say, on the arm. Padges in around that ball, and look at the ferociousness there by Salisbury. They've got a sniff. Ball pobbles out, goes forward.
Brent Ellis running
and
bouncing through the middle of the ground.
Two.
There's the little link up, and there's the one on coming on. There's another handball, Big Beard.
Out the back 45.
There's the little chip out to Prosser.
Salisbury going to capitalise on this. Yep, turned it around. Lincoln Bennett after it again. 2-on-1. Little dribble forward. Salisbury got us. Bend your back, son. There's the handball out the back. Bennett again. Around on the left. Left-hand handball. 1-2. Look at that man. Guy Ward settles and he's running out of bounds. So, a little bit of pressure here for Salisbury in the back line. Players with hands on hips, hands on head. Guy on his own in the goal square, Patrick Keenahan, he's just down on the haunches there. Just like to see him drift out a little bit, create some space out this side of the ground if Salisbury get it. Up goes that the big guy there, number 21, Fleming again. Good to see him get up the ground a little bit. He's tapped that back their way. Salisbury diving for the mark, and it's going back, and that's CJ Inglis. Must have been too high.
We go to the firm Harley Heaven scoreboard. It is Glenunga 12-11-83 to Salisbury 3-6-24.
Pretty even score actually this quarter, wasn't it? 3 each, is it?
Yep.
Going by that. So that's not CJ. It's gone half forward flank now, right on the 50. Calling for movement from the goals, from the coach's box, and out it comes. Drops to ground. Salisbury player down, still down. Out the back there, the big ruckman. That's a nice kick. He hasn't got bad skills there, the big pigeon. And he's kicked it across. Keenahan calling for the 25 and receives it. see Guy Wood coming off for rest and Big Sam Abel getting back on, loping out there on the half forward. And I'll tell you what, if he just stays around where he is, he might get this next ball. But in it comes there, turnover, Lachlan Middleton, good hands. Now let's see if they've got some structure. Stabs at the ball, puts it up high, and that's a good grab. Very good grab. And I reckon that's Prosser. Thrown to the ground. And 25 for his troubles. So he's about probably 25 out. We see Andy Reid coming off and Xavier Larkham coming back on. So he's coming in now. Big Harry Prosser. He's kicked that and turned around. I thought he'd missed that with his body language there, but he's kicked that straight through the middle. Great job there. That was a good mark in a pack as he came out to that ball. Players patting each other on the back for Glenunga in the middle of the ground, just working out a few strategies. Beard just having a drink there. Yes, I'd be getting plenty of hydration. The water bottle's getting passed around now. So as we see it, Glenunga have got 1, 2, 3, 4 across half forward. One on his own back in the goal square. There's actually 5. 5 across half forward, one on his own, the big tall. Beard goes up on his own, no contest. Taps it forward 10 metres. Up come Glenunga back on the 45. Salisbury on the ground. Soccer, and it's gone the wrong way, you wouldn't believe it. 10 metres behind for Salisbury. Good desperation there by young Matthews, but Glenunga tapping the ball on. And look at this guy go. Out it goes, and that was Henke, I reckon it was. Handballs to no one. Ball tapped over the line. So throw in Glenunga's end, 50 metre line. Players have spread. Salisbury pushing up the ground a little bit in around the middle. And the forward line is so free here for Glenunga. If they can get a ball in, one-on-one. There's the check side, just as we speak. And there's Graham, he's played on there. That was Lachlan Middleton. Plays on, handball over, CJ Inglis. And there's the goal.
There's the goal.
Resulting goal. I just spoke about that space. CJ ran into it from the chip kick. It was a banana. And away it went. So Beard coming off now, sprinting off. Wonky about to come on. And I'd say he's going forward. And I believe, is it the other Wonky now, James, coming up forward?
We go to
coming
the,
up to the ruck, sorry.
to the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's Glenunga 14-11 and Salisbury 3-6. So, yeah, a commanding lead.
Connor Reid coming back on from that heavy knock earlier. He's just come back on the ground, drifting down the back as we see Wormer coming off the ground. Well, that's gutsy from Connor Reid. He's gone into the back line, so he's going to see plenty of the ball pretty quickly, I'd suggest. And by the looks of things, that's the free man on his own, the sweeper, down back. So ball goes up. Still a tap to Glenunga. Wonky after it, down to the ground. Good bend to the back. First of the ball, tackled there. Act or react, that's what it's all about. Act first and make the opponents react to what you do. So good bend of the back there. Getting up with the ball was Abel. Ball goes up. Wonky slams that ball forward. Soccer off the ground there. Lincoln Bennett out to the half forward line. CJ again. There he goes backwards. He's got that back there. CJ Inglis. He's racking up the touches, and that's a great kick. Ball at centre half forward. Lachlan Middleton tends to take off a little bit. Took off last time. He's looking on the left. Looking. Want to hit a target now. That's a nice kick, 30 to 40 metres. Bit of a push there to the Salisbury player, but got away with it. Salisbury tapped the ball on the ground. Can't quite pick up the ball. Glenunga you'd expect to mop up. CJ Inglis again. Out to our man Skellington now, and he's caught, tackled to the ground. One guess, Padgey. Good strong tackle. Quite stoic back there. He hasn't looked like giving up, Pageant. As Salisbury running the changes here, we see Scott Belchin coming on, and that would be Knox coming off as another ball up 15 metres out from goal, dead in front. Glenunga scoring end.
Just a bit of a lull, isn't there?
Yeah, so Glenunga just
yeah. Only going,
here they go.
About 28 minutes. And someone's got.
That's Middleton. Lachlan Middleton on the left. He's one of these ones that tends to just, he's a running player, takes off, doesn't think twice, knows what he's doing, knows where he's going, and wriggled his way around the forward line then. Left foot, bang, goal.
Yeah, we go to the Firm Harley Heaven scoreboard. It's Glenunga There were 15 goals, 11, and Salisbury 3 goals, 6. So it's a really commanding lead now. And yeah,
they've picked it back up again. Yep, they've kicked the 6 for this quarter to 3.
It's out to 78 points, but you know Salisbury have been better this quarter. I mean, that's not trying to be condescending. It's actually they have been a lot better.
Well, I reckon the first half of the quarter, first 10 minutes, they were on top, and you know, they capitalised. They scored on the scoreboard, and you know, then we came back. It only seems like a moment ago. It was 3 goals all, and now all of a sudden Glenunga 3 quick goals, and it's 6-3 for the quarter. So let's see what happens now. CJ Inglis takes a bounce, runs in.
Goal.
There's another one.
They just haven't had the intensity for the whole of the quarter, have they? It was only that 10-15 minutes. They were really, really good. And just run out of a bit of steam, I think.
And that's the fatigue factor we were talking about, especially if you're behind on the scoreboard. As we see Jack Matthews coming off for a breather and Wormer going on. But yeah, that fatigue starts to set in. And, you know, once you get that fatigue in there, as we see, look, players with their head down, hands on hips.
They just haven't got enough players working hard enough, have they?
No, you're exactly right. And one of the guns, Matthews, has come off for a well-earned rest. Well, the ruckman missed times
he's been superb. Padgett's been superb. Who else?
A little bit going on after the ball there.
Matty Shields has been really good. He's tried hard, but you know, there's a lot of others who have not had a huge contribution.
No, as we see, Salisbury ruckman there trying to rough up a little bit. Umpire calling something. Up it goes. Big punch forward again. Wonky. His last 3 or 4 taps, they just seem to be that big 4 to 5 metre punch forward. And Glenunga with their quality have capitalised, but it doesn't seem a lot of structure. It doesn't seem to punch 2 players. Anyway, Salisbury have got it on the half-back flank here. Comes across 3 or 4 chain of handballs. Padgy there, look at that. Crisp, neat, hits a player. Then the next player handballs. Padgy's going to get it back. No, runs past him. There's our player that came off injured. Long handball down to the wing.
We've been going 30 and a half minutes in this quarter, so
Glenunga
right
one
on
kick.
siren time.
And this is Harry Prosser, and he's given that up. And he knows it too as the ball comes back down the line. And there's the 3/4 time siren as we speak, Luke.
Yeah, long quarter. Just over 30 and a half minutes. And you're going to do a little bit of talking, I think, and just fill us in on the goal kickers and everything. I can just take you to the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard. It's 15-11-107 to Salisbury 3-6-24. So we've got a 77-point advantage to the Rams. And I'll check the scores.
So the goal scorers for Glenunga, Brant Ellis with 1, Guy Ward with 1, 2, Harry Prosser has 1, Andy Reid has 1, Dylan Smith has 1, James Wonky 2, CJ Inglis, as we saw just popping up in the last piece of play there, with 2. And if we go across to Salisbury, we have mentioned him a few times, Jack Matthews with 2 and Scott Belchin with 1. And is that the nickname for Jack Matthews, the Oxbird? Is that what I'm reading there?
Jack Matthews, no, D-Bird. He is brother of David Bird.
Well, there we go. So disregard the Oxbird. As we look at the 2 huddles, Salisbury, some are up and some are laying on the ground, and Glenunga, pretty much all of them are up and tight in around the coach. So, you know, they've got to finish strong now, Glenunga. They've got to prove a point to the other teams in this division if they want to be competitive for the rest of the year. So,
just some scores around the ground, if I may. Adelaide University at 9 goals, 4-58. And their comprehensive leaders over Athelston, who are 2-6-18. So we've got a 40-point lead to Adelaide University. We go down to Big Hours Car Park at Pedlar Reserve, and we've got Seaton Ramblers 9-9 to Scotch Old Collegians 4-4. So, that's a big lead. And we go to Plympton Oval, and Portland, who were big winners last week over North Haven, they're 14-9, Plympton 11 goals 2, so it's a 24-point margin.
Bit of a tighter one there.
Yeah, so I'll get some more scores from around the ground as they're sent in from people.
Yeah, interesting. Athelston there, they've gone up to Division 1 this year, coached by Jade Sheedy, and once again, very, very good down there. They've got a good junior structure, and they're going to be competitive, bouncing around Division 1. They might take a few hits along the way, but we'll see how they go. It'll be interesting to watch their progress through the year.
And one score that I'm probably not surprised about, because we saw them last week, St. Peter's, they're very, very good. And they're 14-7-91. I'm surprised by the margin. They're playing Salisbury North, who are tipped to be one of the, the sides to beat, along with St. Peter's. And Salisbury North are 8-3-51. And so it's also a 40-point margin to St. Peter's Old Collegians at Caterer.
Interesting.
So that's on the
they had some good
Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard.
Yeah, they had some good. The two brothers up forward there, they had some good scorers.
Yeah,
up
the
there.
McClay
They look
boys.
strong. Yeah, they look good. So as we're looking now, Salisbury have broken away from their huddle already, and Brian Lees is just finishing addressing his players, and the Salisbury players are just meandering out across the ground because the sun is still up. It's quite warm down here. The wind, there is
Only
a
a
slight
zephyr.
zephyr in the air as we speak. Have a look at that. There's hardly any breeze at all. The trees are still.
Postcard day, isn't it? Not a cloud in the sky.
Any breeze at all. The trees are still.
Postcard day, isn't it? Not a cloud in the sky, no breeze, and it's a beautiful autumn day. We go to Daily Oval. We've got Lockley's 12-11-83 leading Hectorville 7-5-47. Probably not unexpected with Lockley's the red-hot favourites to win the flag in Div 5 this year.
Interesting there. Yeah, they've been strong. They had a little bit of a hiccup there last year, I reckon, but they were quite strong there a couple of years back. And once again, they're building on their Lockley's type of style of football, they call it. So, and they were coached.
Very well coached by Stephen Swerk, and they've also picked up a number of big-name recruits. And just about to start this final term.
The umpire holds the ball in the air, throws it up. Here go the ruckman, Glenunga again, out forward, trying to fend off. There was Guy Ward, and he's been caught, and he's been caught high. So he's going to go back. We see Brant Ellis, look at him running around there behind. He's looking for a kick here, a kick there, and he's still free, Brant Ellis. And he's turned to look at him and misses it. It's too long. Running off the halfback flank now, and there it goes. That was Manning. Manning's gone long, straight down into the goal square. It's over the top.
Bit of a
Push from Salisbury, quick handball. It's bobbling around here. They're under pressure here. Salisbury right on the boundary line. Can they get it up? And that is a stoppage in play, is it? Yes, it is. Out of bounds. So almost a touch then. So the ball right around from the point post, 2 or 3 metres back. Ruckman set up. So we've got Bradley Dalglish in ruck, and he's the one that's tapped that down. But guess what? He's tapped it straight to Guy Ward. Gets a handball out. Salisbury running this way, running that way. The ball goes up in the air between half back and back pocket, punching that forward quite strongly there was number 18, and that was Matthew Garefa, the G. Good attack on the ball. We see a Glenunga player now coming off holding his ribs. We don't like to see that. So Sam Abel's about to go on, and this player, if you can just turn around, is Xavier Larkham holding his ribs. So ball right in the goal square there. Salisbury are tackled to the ground. There's also a player down for Salisbury, Cohen Bedell, slow to get up now. Right in front of goal, Glenunga would want to capitalise on this. So Bedell is still down. It's Cramp, by the looks of things, as his teammate right next to the umpire. So the game has stopped. His player's trying to get him up for Cramp. Limps back. Umpire holds the ball up. Time back on. Up it goes. Big pack forms. Down. Salisbury have got that clear. It's out on the half-back flank here. And that's a nice strong grab to Henke. So let's just see whether Henke can hit a target now with his kick. He's come back. He's probably 45 out. He's run around. He's put that just up to the teeth of goal, what we call the hot spot. Big hands go up. Off it comes Salisbury again. It's come straight back out. Guess who? No, off hands it comes. Ball on the ground. Tackle there, number 18 to the ground is the G. Garefa first to the ball. Umpire balling it up. There's a big pack here. Look at those players after the ball. Abel it is, trying to pounce the ball. He's got it down. I reckon he was tackled before he had it there. And he's been caught holding the ball. So Salisbury on the half-back flank. Let's see if they can kick this along the line. They're looking in. He's actually looked inside. That's a dangerous kick to centre half-back position. However, it's Paget. So Paget out wide. That's a beautiful kick to the half-back flank. Certainly knows his way around. So this has opened up the ground a bit for Salisbury. They're kicked down between wing and half forward, and that's a good mark to Hermie. Hermie's come back in, and Salisbury have got it here. Goes backwards this way, that way. They've gone backwards. The ball's now behind centre. Jaden Tucker it is. Jaden Tucker. That ball's come back 20, 30 metres now. Static, not much movement. One lead. The big fella's gone out there and hasn't made it. Oh. And it's going to be mopped up, is it, by Glenunga? Yes, it is. So
not on the highlights package, that bit.
Matthew Fleming put the lead on. He was the only one moving for Salisbury. So out it comes. One handball, two handball. Doesn't matter. The ball's hit the ground because there's another one behind. And look at them run. Jack Harford it is. Inside. Outside again. Harford again. Stops. Starts. Handball back. On the wing. Comes back to Harford. I reckon he's got 3 or 4 possessions there. CJ Inglis comes inside. Spoil by Salisbury. Socket off the ground. Long. I reckon that was Matthews. And look at that. He's strong back there, isn't he?
Yeah. Great eyes. He looks and lifts the eyes every time.
And if you have a look around, there's 4 Salisbury players in the forward line to 2 Glenunga, and it's down at Glenunga's end. And that's a good mark over the top.
Mark.
Justin Bonney.
Yeah.
That is a really good mark.
Just some scores from around the grounds at SNFL games. Central District's 12,620 to the Crows 6,743, so they're getting smashed. North Adelaide 8,351, leading Norwood 5,636. That's a prospect.
North Adelaide coming up a bit. So we see our man Larkham coming back on, who came off before, and Lachlan Middleton just coming off. And there's a nice goal kicked by Justin Bonney after taking that good mark there.
Cracking mark, wasn't it?
Yeah, so as you called, Luke, Salisbury got it down sort of across half forward. They're relying on Matthew Fleming to do, he's done a lot of leads. He's worked hard today, but if you can't hit the target, once the ball hits the ground, the big fella just couldn't chase there. Glenunga's smaller players mop it up, and you get the players like Gratz, really impressed with his skill off the half back line. He'll hit a target.
Not a lot of leg speed, but good skill levels.
Oh, he'll hit a target.
And lifts the eyes.
Yep, so up it goes. Glenunga again, as expected, tap forward. I called that in the last quarter, though. He tends to tap that 4 or 5 metres forward, but to no one. And we see a turnover here. Salisbury have got the ball because they've roved it. So number 9 now is Noxie, as he's kicked that in right forward pocket for them. Mitchell working hard. He's over the ball, can't quite get it up. Fleming it was, sorry.
It really is hard to paint a picture of how perfect today is in terms of conditions, isn't it?
It is fantastic.
29 degrees, no breeze, not a cloud in the sky, just about the most perfect day you could ever get.
So James Wunke wings that tap again. You wouldn't believe it. He's tapped it 5 metres Salisbury's way. However, Glenunga's strong enough to mop it up. So Sam Abel takes a grab there. Short kick, but it's dropped 5 metres short. That's that fatigue coming in. Quick hands from Skellington across. Chain of handballs. Look at this guy. Run, carry, 1 bounce, 2 bounce. He's running into goal. He's dropped that quite far. He's kicked that. That is a great goal. Andy Reid.
Andy Reid.
Look at him run. Have a look at that.
That's his second for Andy Reid.
The gazelle. Mate, he floated from the wing down there, and he never had any intention of looking anywhere else.
Andy Reid.
He knew where that was going to go and popped it through.
So we go to the Firm and Harley Heaven scoreboard. We've got Glenunga 18 goals, 11, 120. To Salisbury 3624. So it's a 96-point advantage. Some scores from the AFL. Now here's one that I probably never thought possible. St Kilda 10 goals, 1373 have drawn with Greater Western Sydney 9-19-73.
There goes the tips.
It's a draw.
Interesting. So Salisbury, let's call it there on the wing. He's kicked that inside out to get to a player right next to the boundary line when he was 30 metres inside the wing.
Noxie.
So they've gone long and deep. He's kicked that too well, has he? No, the big fella's got it. Fleming, they've been trying to get it to him all day long. And there's the grab. So the inside out kick was effective out to the right. And then a 40-metre kick in. He's right in front. Walking in now, be on the left. And he's popped that through.
Big
yeah,
Fleming
so
gets his first of the day.
Draw in the AFL, eh? St Kilda, what was it, GWS?
GWS.
Mm.
So
So as we're looking here, Salisbury running the changes there. The G comes on. Actually, that's Jack Matthews coming back on, the excitement machine, and Big Scott Belchin coming off. And we've seen the ruckman was about to come on. I was looking for Thomas Beard there, but they've still got James Wunke in the middle here. Let's just see what he does with this bounce. See, there's no one on his right hand, 3 or 4 metres to our left.
Idea where that's going, then.
And there it goes, and it hits the ground again. So, you know, if they can just... He's winning the taps, but structure up. Salisbury on the ground, high kick. That's 80 metres, 40 up, 40 down, and that's a nice mark. Haven't mind him, Jack Harford back there. He's been reliable.
Been good.
Glenunga spread. Look at them calling. They're running on top of the ground. Take your pick, son. And he does, and he's just about top one. These two are at it. They're 2 number 8s.
Under pressure.
And he's
good hit up kick again.
Come out wide, Bonnie. The second last, 2 goals ago. He's just looking, man. He's not even looking for it. He's looking square. He's come inside.
Yeah, that's good.
Short kick, Wunke. It is the ruckman. Now he wheels around on the right.
There
goes
they go, that far side of the ground.
Straight across. You've called it. Abel it is. He's been good out there.
And that's
today
happened
as well.
all day long where they've gone that far side.
Brand Ellis, little hiccup. Able to recover, and just through that little bit of pressure. Guess who? Padgy put on the pressure from behind. So the big ruckman,
Big Atkinson.
He's taken a bounce. He's gone to the pocket and he's kicked to a contest. And you'll never guess what. There's going to be a throw in here.
Ruckman taking bounces. No.
Playing with danger, flirting with danger. So now he's going to have to take the ruck tap, and Big Beard, who's just fresh on the ground, should dominate this ruck tap. In actual fact, Dalglish is up there as well. Beard taps it out. Ball on the ground. Salisbury, quick kick out there by Kennyhan, and Glenunga have taken the mark. They're really looking to share there. Running off halfback Jack Harford, and that Andy Reid last goal, he came off the halfback flank as well. So they're sharing the ball. They're almost running their that nice kick.
Hit up.
And it's the big. He should be rewarded.
Beard.
Yeah, he should be rewarded with a goal here. I've loved his game today. And
Jack Harford, that was a brilliant kick.
Yeah, beautiful. And Big Beard, if he can kick it, but they're almost in that mode of let's practice some of our movements and structures while we're under game pressure.
But this is training drill stuff, because they're going back, and hitting up targets, just looking for a target, hitting a target up, and they're doing it, and they're doing it lace out. Now, there was nothing a Salisbury defender could do with that kick. It's just lace out. It's just a magnificent kick. Great football.
And that ruckman Beard is out now playing up forward. And have a look at the height difference down there. You know, 2 Salisbury players looking as if to say, well, you take him. No, you take him. No one wants to stand him.
Who kicked that goal then?
That was Beard.
That was the big fella.
Yeah. And he's on his own. No one wants to stand him, actually. Cohen Biddle has now put his hand up and he's gone back.
That's the 12th individual goal scorer for the Rams today, which is fantastic, isn't it?
Then there's a softer tap there by Wunke, which actually hit a player. Back there's Padgy. He's been by far their best player. Back there for Salisbury.
In the back half, and Jack Matthews through the midfield.
Yeah, liked
going
him.
forward, so they've been outstanding. And number 27, Matt
I
Shields,
was just
has
going to say
tried hard.
Just as you're saying that, he's dropping down into the, just that hard running, 30 metres off the ball, and he's gone down into the defensive zone for Salisbury just to pick up a player, and that's good discipline. Good to see. So on the left there, wheels around, is Guy Ward, and you would expect nothing less from him. Very neat, tidy kind of player, that guy.
Gets his
so to speak.
Second goal for the afternoon.
Players get around him. Yeah, there's still a bit of high fiving. They're celebrating and so on, as they should, because it's not going to be this easy every round for them.
No.
As you said, first round. So they're probably still sorting out a few of their players and a few of their actual plays. The height is very good. They've got a real big advantage there.
And
Plenty
we
of runners.
go to the firm Harley Hepburn scoreboard. It's Glenunga 20 goals 11, and that is 131 to Salisbury. 4 goals 630. So there's that
100 point
there's
buffer.
that 101 point buffer.
Yep. So they're over the top, ball on the ground, bubbling around. Salisbury soccer off the ground. First of the ball now, Glenunga. One tap, up he comes, and that's Skellington on the left, wheels around, and just missing it there was the big ruckman. So we're going to see a throw in here with Wunke jogging back to set up, which is good to see. You don't, as I said with the scoreboard, don't worry about the scoreboard. Work on your fitness, work on your things like this when you... Oh, that's a bit of a crooked throw. When you're 2 points down in a game or 2 points up, you still need to be running hard in that last quarter and
they've
doing
done that
all these
all day,
things.
haven't they, Glenunga? They've run hard, spread.
Just as we speak, he comes off and he looks exhausted, but he's done well, that young lad. And guess who comes on? Nicholas Wunky. So Wunky for Wunky.
Paget hadn't missed a target all day today, I think.
So across we come, and that was Wormald. Salisbury right on 45.
And the Jedi, that's the Jedi.
The Jedi has kicked a beautiful goal. And he's
well
just
done.
got a touch of cramp. That was a good bit of play. And did you say Padgy that was it started with? And that doesn't surprise me.
But he just does not miss a target with my foot.
Lockie Middleton about to come on now, as we see coming off Dylan Smith and getting the accolades from the coach there.
I suppose the game in every era is based around kicking, but more so today, you've got to be able to hit a target. If you can't kick the footy, you can't play footy.
Yes.
And same as running. If you can't run, you can't play. But kicking now is all about hitting up targets. And, the guys that can do it, they're really good players. They're the ones you want.
Well, you see today the Guy Wards, the Andy Reeds, and Padgy for the opposition as the ball comes out. You know, these are the players. And I was fortunate enough several years ago to hear a world-renowned sports psychologist speak, and he talks about that 90-10 factor. 90% of the time you're under pressure, 10% you're in time and space, and the players that get to the top are the ones that know what to do. Just as we speak, Padgy, look at that. There it is. Right there, it's knowing what to do in that 90% of the time you're under pressure, and in our great game, that's the difference between hitting a target and missing it.
I've always believed that those who are in that 90% category are the ones who can actually slow the game down in their own mind and slow everything down in their own mind, what's happening. So that's in all sport, not just football, but you can slow everything down.
And you look at the players that do that well, the current day players are players like Cripps at Carlton, just getting around the park quite easily.
Pendlebury, he's got that much time, guys like that, but they're able to slow the game down in their own mind.
And then you go back to your Diesel Williams, wasn't the fastest, but he's just between the ears. It's quite sharp.
Look at young Gratz here. Young Gratz is another one there. He also does the same sort of things. He hits up targets, he lifts his eyes. So, So Glenunga, still Sam Abel, he's going to have a shot on goal, and he's kicking the Pernex end of the ground, and he's just offline. Hits the clubroom roof, and so that's 20 goals, 12 on the Harley Heaven firm scoreboard, 132 to Salisbury 5636. So we've got a 96-point margin.
Yeah, it's interesting, Luke. I'm interested on your thoughts. Back when I was coaching, if we had a day like this, I'd ask for 30 scoring shots, and if we kicked 14 goals, 16, we'd do 2 laps at training. If we kicked 16, 14, we had to kick more goals and points, and 32 scoring shots so far, and that's acceptable for a day like this.
Oh yeah. It's
little team goals. Yep.
The great goal kickers such as Tony Lockett kicked at about 66%. So yeah, that's about right for a team.
And there's Abel just dropping it in short. They had a mark, but they're playing on quickly. Little chip kick across there by CJ Inglis. And we have a player with the ball.
Xavier
Larkham, who came off with crook ribs before, but gutsy effort. Why wouldn't you get back on if you're going to be in a win like this? So get around it and stay on the ground. So he's running in, probably 35, 40 metres out there, that post high, straight over the top of the umpire's head.
Good goal.
We see Dylan Smith coming on and Lincoln Bennett coming off. So he's jogging on, and as I said, you'd still want to be playing well at this time of the game, hoping for no injuries because there's pressures going to come.
13th individual goal kickers.
Fantastic, isn't it?
And no one has scored more than 2. So, fancy being able to spread the
share the load
around. That's fantastic. Last year, Glenunga were a bit different. They had Prosser kicking bags. They had the 2 Wunkies kicking bags, McMahon's kicking bags. This year, they're sharing it around.
So we see the big Ruttman goes up for Salisbury, and he's missed that. And I was just about to say there, we had 3 Salisbury players behind the ball and 1 in front setting up for that.
Nick
Wunky, and he's just bombed that straight down to the teeth of goal. Salisbury player coming out, drops the chest mark, goes to ground. He's done the knee there, I reckon, or he's got cramp. I think he's got cramp, thank goodness for that. And ball stopping in the forward pocket. Having done a knee, you shudder a little bit watching that, but it's the
I didn't know you
the umpire stopping the game
stopped
again.
the
Yeah,
game
that's
for
interesting
cramp.
for cramp, and he's probably 25 metres off the ball, and the players are calling out.
Don't
Maybe
stop the game for cramp. for
maybe the
God's sake.
umpire's a medic. The fact that he's down on the ground, I guess. But so there's a bit of a lull here, and we see Glenunga
Come on,
players
Gory. Come on, Gory. Get on with it,
are
mate.
setting up back behind the ball. And there's, at the bottom there, Guy Ward, of course, down under it. Out of bounds here. Throw-in about to happen. The big fella there with the cramp is coming off, and that's Cohen Biddell. Bit slow on the interchange bench. Now the player comes on, and that's big number 2 there.
We've got a 102-point margin on the firm Harley Heaven scoreboard.
We had a jumper change there, I reckon. Number 2's just come on, and there's no number 2. Anyway, wheels it around. Gone back 30 metres to go forward. Juggling there, Glenunga. Handballs to a static player, Skellington, and that made it so easy. Handball into a player. I don't think he was almost not ready for that. Just standing still. Sorry, that was Scott Belchin, number 2, that came on, by the way.
A little bit of the speed's gone out of the game.
Yeah, so ball bobbling around, 2-on-1. Belchin on the bottom of that, rolling around, and that's Xavier Larkham on the bottom. Fairly tipping, his ribs are going to be tickled a bit. So up goes the ball, big pack. There's probably 30 players around it. Fresh air shot by Glenunga, so Salisbury have gone forward.
Brand Ellis off the back.
Out the back. There's another player down for Salisbury.
They'll go out the far side.
There's your man hitting a target. Not quite. The ball's hit the ground. Big fella Fleming there trying to push off. Went body first instead of ball. Glenunga have got it in the back line, deep in the back line. Salisbury desperate here.
Ball out of bounds. Throw in at the Hodgesmud into the ground.
So looking 30, 40 metres off the ball. Look at the Salisbury players now all pushing down. There's the ruckman is the one player that's staying back here. There's a lot of Salisbury players down in this area. If Glenunga get a big kick out, they're away here. So first the ball is Glenunga. Skellington off the ground.
They're on the wrong
Fortunate
side, though,
bounce.
they always go the other side of the ground. That's the thing.
Connors it was. Ball popped up. Out to the horse there, number 10.
Point.
Jose Petrio Antonio.
The horse.
And through for a point. So Glenunga setting up. We're going to see a long kick out.
20,
Andy Reid it was.
20
Beautiful
and a half minutes
kick.
into this final turn.
And tell you what, Abel, he has a really good set of hands. He's come inside there, slightly inside the Prosser. Prosser on the half-back flank. He's gone short, but he's popped that up. But a good take there, Dylan Smith. And Padgey not quite able to get it.
Is that Monkey?
Dylan Smith there at the moment, yeah. So right in the middle. So he's gone out wide on the half-forward flank, and Abel has run down from half-back to half-forward.
Head stop running.
Now he comes inside, 30 metres out, the big men fly. Guess who? The big ruckman. There he is.
Had his name written all over that, didn't he?
Yep.
Good kick.
So has that ball got a beard on it, has it?
Just
No,
sitting in
very
that
good
hot
grab.
spot 30 metres out from goal.
Yeah.
It takes a very, very strong mark.
And as we stand here, as we sit here, waiting to get on, how scary is this? Is James Wunke, the ruckman, is waiting to get on as big Thomas Beard, the other ruckman, kicks the goal. So I'd suggest Wunke may well... No, he's going forward. So coming off is one of the shorter players here, Connors. So Wunke goes forward. Beard goes forward. Have a look at the two talls down forward for them. What a nightmare. And we've got Nicholas Wunke in the ruck. So two-pronged forward attack on a day like this. Fantastic height or beat speed.
And when they get McMahon and they've got Prosser and all of them together, they've got 5 goes over 6 foot forward. So
Salisbury ruckman the last 2 times has been up way too early. They all missed it. Second ball up 2 or 3 metres Glenunga side of the centre. Interesting to see there. Matthew Shields, the gentleman with the helmet on, got a hand on his player. So when we see Wunke there, just that hit forward, but it's a hit forward to no one. So there's a little bit of cramp coming in. There's another Glenunga player.
Have a look at the height differential in the goal score.
Yeah,
there.
scary, isn't it?
It's about, a foot?
Beard, then there's fresh air.
Yeah.
And
Young
then we see
Aiden Hull.
Aiden Hull.
He's well out of his weight division.
He's got his work cut out. So Padgett again, how good is his skills? You know,
Foot skills, brilliant.
20-odd goals down, and he's still able to hit a target. He's a good player. The player in the middle, the big ruckman's got his hands on his hips there for Salisbury in the middle of the ground. Ball over the back. Fleming misjudges. They all stop. Glenunga don't. Back it comes. The Salisbury players stop. So misses a target, and I'd say that's Bradley Dalglish coming forward. Ball missed again. Mopping up Glenunga out wide. Little short chip kick. The game will slow down here. See if there's a switch of play.
Been a really good player for many years, Padge. You know, in the twilight of his career now, you can say, but he's been a very good player. For
He stood up for them today. So down the line, look at that nice reach. Is that number 12 there, Lincoln Bennett? He's been in it a fair bit today. So it's this next kick. See if he can hit a target, and he does. Abel, his hands fantastic. So let's have a look. Long raking kick up there, Wonky. That could go coast to coast here. So this was the scary bit up forward. James Wonky now, he's just setting back up. He's looking into that sun. It's going to be a difficult kick. So what are his options? He's got beard. He's got beard up forward. No, he's probably 6'5", 6'6". So
I reckon
he's got some options.
You have a ping.
Well, I think you've picked that he's going to. Don't worry about that. The blue boots runs in, drops the ball, and he's kicked that very, very high. Maybe he set it up for beard. Under the ball, you wouldn't believe it.
He's got it.
It's gone over the pack and it's bounced through. So the one thing we can say from that kick, at least we know it was straight.
It certainly was. And big Wonky.
So we see Reid, Andy Reid just jogging past us now back into the back line.
That was Nick Wonky. Become the
29,
28. Become the 14th individual goal kicker.
Wow. Yep. So he's coming back into the ruck now. We've seen Pigeon, Adam Atkinson, missed the last two bounces, just misjudged it by a fair bit. Look, he's been in the ruck most of the day as well, so solid effort, but just, Glenunga's quality. So up it goes. He's put his body in first, taken out of the air is Wonky, back onto it, second effort, and another ball up.
We just go to the firm Harley Heaven scoreboard, and it's Glenunga 23 goals, 12, 150, leading Salisbury 5-7, 37. So it's a 113-point margin.
Yep, 35 shots to 12. Ball comes out bobbling along the ground. The Glenunga players leave it for their teammate. However, number 15 there is Bradley Dalglish mopping up. Doesn't get very far because here's Glenunga again. Look at the speed there. Over it goes. Tries to fend off, and he's going to be taken there, Brant Ellis.
Playing pretty good football with his third club. Started at Seaton, then moved to Adelaide University, and now at Glenunga. So playing pretty good football, LeBron.
So there's no one really much on the boundary side of this ball. Glenunga dropped the ball there. Second player in there. Their backing up has been fantastic. So that was Middleton who dropped it when he was tackled. And that was Thomas Edwards there who picked that ball up. A lot of congestion around the ball. Third man up. We don't see much of that now. Two taps there. Salisbury stop, start, back inside. There's a Glenunga player down just where that last attack took place. Half it, or Edwards?
Half it onto Manning. Manning, here they go, that little switch out to Wonky.
Wonky, look at him go, one bounce.
Take the ball out of side of the ground. It's a little hit-up lead looking for Brant Ellis, but Keenahan is going to relieve and kick the ball back into the centre of the ground looking for Padgett.
3-on-1,
yeah.
Look at that. It was that stabbing high kick, wasn't it? The intent was there. Look at that. Left foot, wheels around, and that player in front, Larkham, and that's what we talk about.
Larkham.
You get a metre in front, and on a kick like that, in the back line, you're never going to make that metre up. I don't understand why so many players start behind their players and think they're going to have closing speed. It's not going to happen.
Not a good kick, though.
He's popped that through for a point.
Maybe it's stabbed at the ball and it didn't kick through.
Maybe it's a set play so they can work on their opposition kicking structures.
Don't think so.
Ball goes down. Poor old Padgett, he's had to run 30, 40 metres for that.
He's getting a lot of kick-ins.
Back. Here he is again, and he's looking around. He'll probably go the short one. There it is. You can see why, though. Patrick Keenahan it is, takes the grab. Well, get it back, Padgett, get it back.
Glenunga have owned the game other than that 10-minute period of the third quarter. That first 10 minutes of the third quarter, Glenunga have owned the rest of the game, really.
Lachlan Middleton have taken the ball here. Yes, you're right.
They brought that intensity for 10 minutes, but then it's just gone again.
Yep.
It wasn't there in the first half, and it's just gone again.
So Middleton's having a look. He's left foot, a little chip kick. That's a very
Andy
neat
Reid.
kick. Andy Reid. And he's
Far
going
side of the
straight
ground.
across
That's
the ground.
unusual. It's happened all day long.
Yeah. And now this player's going to have to kick into the sun a little bit, but no, he's just dropped that short chip kick. Larkham again, is it? Yes. He's recovered well.
I picked that up 3 minutes into the first quarter, and Salisbury still, the players still haven't, they're still not aware that the chip and the switch is going to the far side of the ground every time.
Switching play around, wasn't it? You've picked it. They've come from one half forward flank around, virtually followed the 50-metre line around to the other side. There's been now a 25-metre penalty that put him in front, and he's kicked that goal. But yeah, Luke, you're exactly correct, and that's the coaching background we sit here and watch, and you just see these. I'm very interested in that, the patterns of play. If you can imagine a team plan coming down over the oval and where they're going to run and what they're going to do.
Who did kick that one in the end? Don't know.
No, good call. Was it 26? Was it Dylan Smith? Not sure there.
Possibly, yeah. I think it was.
So if we look at the ruck setup here, they're all one side of the two ruckmen, and of course that's where the ball goes, but Salisbury's starting on the back foot, and there it is. And look, one of the things that was taught to me years ago, I think it was Lee Matthews, just said, not who wins the tap, it's what happens next. So if the opposition's winning the ball, let them win it, but set your structures up to it. So there you see it. Salisbury have roved the Glenunga tap. So the ball comes forward, it's on the ground. Reid betting his back, 1 touch, 2 touch, tries to be neat, gets it on the left foot. It's very close to the boundary. And what's the commentators?
Yeah, Noel Sleepy, near coach at Riverside during the 80s, always said 20% of the time you've got it, 20% of the time they've got it, and there's 60% of the time it's in dispute.
Yep. And it's known, was it Alan Jeans, it's known what to do. They've got it, we've got it, or it's in dispute. And there's the siren, Luke, and that sun on our back is fantastic as we sit here and look at that scoreboard.
Yeah, we'll go to the firm Harley Heaven scoreboard. Final scores here at Webb Oval for the round 3 clash. Glenunga 24-13, 157 have defeated Salisbury 5-7-37. So that's a 120-point victory, or 20 goals in the day. Glenunga have had 14 individual goal scorers. Now, this is going to take a while to get through them because none of them have scored more than 2. So Brant Ellis has scored 1, Guy Ward 2, Thomas Beard 2, Lachlan Middleton 2, including the goal of the year, Sam Abel 2, Lincoln Bennett 2, Harry Prosser 1, Andy Reid 2, Dylan Smith 2, Nick Wunke 1, James Wunke 2, CJ Inglis 2, Xavier Larkham 1, and Justin Bonnig with 1. So
wow,
that is really spreading the load, isn't it? 14 goal kickers over 24 goals. That's it.
And you know, it's not so much today. Yes, it's a great win, but you hang on to this, and you go back to these games and say, look, if we're struggling up forward or we're losing a player here or there, you know that you can spread the load. It can be spread through so many players, and you know, Reid there running off the half back line. Yes, he kicked an earlier goal that was sensational, but that run off the half back line, he ran from half back to half forward, and he always knew he was going to kick a goal. And it's just seeing things like that, maybe playing players in different positions. And look, one of the things to Salisbury's credit, or to both teams, there wasn't hardly any spite in the game today. I'm really impressed with that side of it. The umpiring, once again, we saw a few little things, but 2 weeks in a row, been happy with the umpiring.
I've seen all 3 games this year.
Yep, and the sportsmanship at the end of the game, the 2 coaches shaking hands and the team shaking hands. And I know that should be a given, but I have seen things like that not happen. So, yeah, really good this.
Well, I go back to last year, the first opening 3 rounds, and I reckon there was 7 red cards or 8 red cards. It was just not warranted.
Yep.
And I think every one of them was found not guilty or didn't even reach the tribunal. Well, that hasn't happened this year. The umpiring's been good. So last year I gave the umpires absolute spray and they deserved it. But this year, hey, it's been really good. So, you know, you come out and say that.
So Glenunga are going off the ground now. They'd be very happy. I think they know at the moment where they're sitting with a good win like that, you know, but if they can, very happy. I think they know at the moment where they're sitting with a good win like that, you know, but if they can now keep that going. But for Salisbury, you know, I just sort of looked at the way they played today. They've got a couple of patches where the really good players, obviously they're consistent over 4 quarters, but a couple of patches of play. But I guess looking forward into the season, they could be a totally different team on a wet, windy day where the players slow down a bit, and I think they'll be that bullocky sort of type of team. If they can stick together and get their heads around it and say, well, not every day this year is going to be like this.
Yeah, but just didn't have enough contributors, did they?
Yeah,
They're going to have to find more contributors. We've got a score 23 minutes in the game between Portland and Plimpton at Plimpton. And Portland 19 goals 12 to Plimpton 16-3. So Portland are going to win that. So, good win.
Yeah, so we'd suggest it was good conditions at every ground today. This one north-south, so we've got the sun right now as we speak on our back, whereas last week that sun would have been right into the players' eyes kicking into goal. So
wasn't any sun last week, mate.
No, exactly. So
Adelaide University, 11 goals 672, Athelston 5-10-40. So I'll just go around the grounds with a few scores before we sign off. We've got St Peter's Old Collegians at 19 goals, 10-124. Smashing Salisbury North there, 10-6-66. So
29 shots to 16, big win.
That's a big winning margin. Let's see what I've got in Division 3. I've only got the Plimpton and Portland scoreboard. Sorry, Seaton Ramblers were a mile in front of Scotch, so they were travelling well. In Division 4, don't know what I've got here. Not much, only from today's game here, which we know the result. Division 5, there was Hectorville and Lockleys. Lockleys have run away with the game. 14-15-99 defeated Hectorville 11-9-75. So that's the only results we've got, mate.
Yeah, Hectorville won the grand final there a couple of years back, and back in that division now, and Lockleys have obviously, as we spoke earlier, have come up a little bit there, and that's a good win for them. Certainly looking to build Lockleys. So yeah, it's interesting between the divisions, the teams that go up and down, and you've got your old scholars, and then you've got your traditional district clubs, if you like, and interesting following those scores through the divisions and how some of the teams are performing. They tend to go up for a year or two and then come back down. You see Glenunga today up here, first year in Div 4, but I think they'll stick here and be very successful at it. And they've got an agenda which way they want to be going, which you spoke about earlier. And the good coaching structures. You see the coaches walk away now, and heard the team sing in the club rooms. But wow, imagine seeing your team run out each week. You've got the two Wunky brothers. You've got Abel, who's a really good, clean pair of hands. You've got your guy Ward and your Brant Ellis getting around. Thomas Beard, how impressive today, Love Hands. You've got your guy Ward and your Brant Ellis getting around. Thomas Beard, how impressive today, Luke.
Yeah, it was good.
For Ruckman. We've both seen a lot of footy, but he knows his way around. He knows he's intelligent. He can right hand, left hand with his tapping. But then the luxury of saying, well, okay, let's put someone else into the ruck and put him down forward, and then he pops up with one or two goals? Two goals there down forward, and look, towering above the opposition, of course. But if you can develop your player, and I've worked with plenty of players that have sort of had the poops on about playing in more than one position. And so it's going to be more advantageous to you if you can play more than one position, and we saw that with this lad here today, certainly at this level, to be able to put him up forward if need be. What a target.
All right,